I'll call the meeting to order. Ask that y'all stand for the opening prayer. Can you do the prayer again?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the rains you've given us. With these rains, Karnes County will be looking a lot prettier with flowers and green grass. We ask that you be with the Marine family and Charlie Monarch's family that where they mourn the loss of their loved ones. We ask that you also guide us in the business of the county.
Amen.
Repeat the Pledge of Allegiance, if you will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
This is the time for citizens to be heard out of 5 on the agenda, and I don't have a list. Has anybody signed up, Erica? All right, we don't have anybody signed up, so we won't have any to be heard this morning. I'm not going to read the minutes from the past meetings. You all of the court has copies of the regular session for March 31st, the workshop session on March 26th, the workshop session on March 20th, the workshop session on March the 12th, and the regular session on March 11th. I'll give you all time to read those, and I have read them all and don't see any problems with any of them. However, the court is certainly entitled to have them, and I'm not sure when they all got to the members of the court. But we'll take a few minutes for the court to look at these, and then we'll proceed. I don't call the roll at these meetings, and you'll notice that Commissioner Rosales is not here this morning. He will be here, said he would be late, and for us to go ahead and start the meeting without him. So he'll join us after some period of time. He had something he had to do. You all know that he was injured, and he's not moving quite as fast as he was before, but we all understand and will do whatever we need to do to give him access to all of the minutes and all of what's going on by the court. Are there any corrections or additions to any of the minutes that you have? We have 5 sets of minutes from workshops and regular meetings. If there are not any corrections or additions, we'll order those minutes filed as presented and proceed with the rest of our meeting. Item 7 on the agenda is a proclamation which recognizes April 15th as National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month in Karnes County. The presenter will be Jane Marley, who is an outreach specialist. Jane, if you'll, hopefully that works today.
I'm representing the Seguin Family Violence Shelter. We have been helping women and their children for 32 years, and we are asking Karnes County to acknowledge April as National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month.
And all you want us to do is just acknowledge it and recognize it, and there's nothing else that you want to tell us especially about it, or
I can read the proclamation.
why don't you do that?
Whereas every 2 minutes another person in the United States is sexually assaulted, and in Texas 1 in 5 women and 1 in 20 men are victims of sexual assault. Whereas, according to the study conducted by Texas Association Against Sexual Assault and the University of Texas at Austin School of Social Work, approximately 1.9 million Texans have been sexually victimized. Whereas, most victims are sexually assaulted by someone they know, and only 20% of rapes are ever reported to the police. Whereas, it is appropriate to salute more than 20 million victims who have survived sexual assault in the United States and the efforts of victims, volunteers, and professionals who combat sexual assault. Whereas, national community organizations and private sector supporters should be recognized and applauded for their work in promoting awareness about sexual assault. Whereas, police, forensic workers, and prosecutors should be recognized and commended for their work and innovation strategies to increase the percentage of sexual assault cases that resolve in the prosecution and incarceration of the offenders. Whereas, sexual violence is a persistent and pervasive problem in our society and one that requires attention year-round, and in order to foster healthy communities, all citizens must support the efforts to end sexual violence every month of the year. And whereas, national community organizations, businesses in the private sector, and the media are urged through the National Sexual Assault Awareness and Sexual Violence and strategies to decrease the incidence of sexual assault. Now, therefore, we the undersigned do hereby proclaim the month of April as National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month in Karnes County, and all the citizens to observe the month by supporting the goals and ideas of the victims and those working towards awareness and prevention, and by participating in the community efforts.
Where would people report sexual assaults to? I'm not sure that everybody knows. I'm not sure that I know. But why don't you tell us that?
You can report there is a family violence shelter in Seguin. It's funded for women under domestic abuse and sexual assault. As for women and children, we are not funded for men. There's also one in Corral County, so the New Braunfels and San Marcos. And there's a hotline, 24-hour hotline. Anyone can call at any point in time. We are an emergency foundation, but if you need any sort of help, if it's not an emergency, then I personally am the outreach specialist. I can meet with you during the week, anytime. We are very flexible to give counseling. We have different programs and any actual physical necessities that you would need.
My secretary, I assume, has ways to get in touch with you, and if anybody will come to our office and talk with her, she will assist you in contacting the sexual assault people.
Absolutely. I'll leave some of my cards back there.
Would our peace officers also be aware of your services in order to pass them on to any potential victims?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Yeah.
That you want a picture of the
Yeah, sure.
Joe? Picture of the water.
Maybe it does something for the young lady.
Do you get an extra mark by your name?
Gold star.
you want to do a picture?
Come
I'll
back,
come around.
back to you.
Sorry.
Buildings have something, but
Joe, do we get paid for the section of paper that disappears in or anything like that?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, we appreciate it. We need all the good publicity we can get. There you go. You got what you need?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, young man.
Thank you.
Do what, next one? Well, that's all right. And the next one, 9, no, 8. Item 8 in the agenda, proclamation which recognizes April 2015 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Karnes County. Presenter will be Pamela Baker, a member of the Marketing and Awareness Committee of the Children's Alliance of South Texas Child Advocacy Center. And tell us a little bit as you start out about the Child Alliance, the Children's Alliance of South Texas, and how they're available, who they're available to, and how you get hold of them, if you don't mind reviewing that.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Pamela Baker, and I am currently a member of the Awareness and Marketing Committee for the Children's Alliance of South Texas, a child advocacy center, and we call it CAST for short. Our agency was formed to fill a gap in services for alleged child victims of abuse and their non-offending family members. CAST provides community outreach and awareness programs to children and adults, videotaped forensic interviews, mental health services, family, peer support groups, individual and family counseling, courtroom prep, case tracking, case coordination with investigative agencies, case review with a multidisciplinary team, on-site forensic medical exams, and referrals to other community agencies. The videotaped forensic interviews are conducted with input from all the team members, which reduces the need for additional interviews and reduces the trauma to the child. Mental health services are provided for all alleged victims and their non-offending family members, and we also try to provide community education and outreach programs to educate our communities of recognizing and reporting child abuse. We provide all of these services at no charge to our families and communities with federal, state, county government funds, and individual gifts. Our agency partners consist of Child Protective Services from Region 8, law enforcement, including 14 police departments, 5 sheriff's offices, and the Texas Rangers, sexual assault nurses examiners, 5 county attorney's office, all district and county level victim service coordinators, and the 81st and 218th Judicial District Attorney's Office. CAST is the only agency that provides these services in the 5-county area of Atascosa, Frio, Karnes, LaSalle, and Wilson counties. CAST was established in 2012, and the first interview was conducted on October 7th, 2013. Since then, more than 383 children have been interviewed, with 44 coming from Karnes County. The number of confirmed cases of child abuse in Karnes County for the fiscal year of 2014, according to CPS, is 43. CAST's mission is to provide a place where the trauma ends and justice and healing begin. So, and I think if a child needs services, I think CAST partners with all the police departments and sheriff's office and child protective services, so they would help bring the children where they need to go.
So anybody that had a problem could go to any of the police officers, any of the sheriff's office, and get help and assistance and direction to go to the right place.
Yes, I believe so. And I think there's also a child abuse hotline people can call if they know of, if they see something, they can report it to CPS or, it's all, the word I'm looking for is anonymous. So we all need to be on the lookout for child abuse and report it if we suspect it.
And should be able to report it to any law enforcement officer, not just the sheriff's office, but any police departments or any active law enforcement officer.
Yes, sir.
I would think. All right, thank you very much. Is there anything else that you need to say about it?
I just wanted to say that our April 2015 is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and CAST is having a awareness campaign called Saving One Soul at a Time. And we'd like to just invite all of our partners up to just a quick picture. That's okay.
Who do you want? I mean,
We have
just grab them all and get them up.
anybody who's involved in CAST and law enforcement and CPS, they're all welcome to come.
You'll just get out here. Y'all stand out there. Yeah. I just stand up. We know how to get in the picture. Y'all worry about what you get. Y'all get up here. Y'all are the important. There you go.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You'll keep your, and you want to keep this.
I haven't had a fan like that for a long time. People are supposed to be real fans and more air conditioning in the churches, everybody had.
Item 9 is the next agenda item that we'll take up. This is discuss act on re-advertising for bids to sell one patrol car that was replaced with a new vehicle. This vehicle, if you haven't checked on it, it's in poor mechanical condition. Sheriff, does the vehicle run?
No, sir.
It won't even start?
No, sir.
Okay. It's a 2010 Ford Crown Victoria. I don't know how many miles, perhaps the sheriff knows and will tell us. No one bid on it the first time it was advertised. You can probably get it cheap if you need one for parts or for any other reason. It probably won't ever be available any cheaper than this one will be. So, with that said, Sheriff,
we put it up for bids, Judge, probably a couple of months ago. We put both, 2 of them, and only one unit were one individual bid on it, but on this one, no one ever bid on it, so that's why I was going to bring it back to y'all's attention and see if we can put it out for bids again.
Have you got a bidder located locally? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
This is just a thought, and I don't know the procedure, but I've had some of the used car people who get less than quality trade-ins say that there is a good market. It's a salvage and, what do you call it, just cars down on the south side of San Antonio. I have no idea what it costs to get it there. I have no idea about anything else, but I know that that's might be something to look into, or something that's, a lot of that stuff goes to Mexico and South America, and I've heard that that's a good market for older or lesser quality vehicles, just for what it's worth. I don't know if you want to explore that or not, but
We can check on that and see if we can go that direction.
we could give you approval. I say we could, I believe we could give you approval to go ahead and move forward with that, since there was no bids the first time. If it's economically feasible, and we don't want to spend money to get rid of it, but as long as we could at least come out ahead a little bit.
I would say that we can authorize him to sell it however he feels is the most productive way for the county.
Does that work for y'all?
Yes, Judge.
Well,
A motion that would be made, or I move that we would allow the sheriff his discretion in disposing of this vehicle, since there was no initial bids on it, in such a manner as he sees fit.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion from the court? With no further discussion, I'll ask for bids. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. All voted for. You're authorized, Sheriff, get rid of it.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Item 10, which is review and possibly approve and disapprove of the schematic design plans with Fisher Heck Architects authored by Louis Fisher. Mr. Fisher. Get anywhere you want to get and take whatever time or whatever needs. Thank you. We can say. Or you want your. Well, let me tell the audience so you'll know, we didn't just get these and look at them right now. We examined them all yesterday, and the court's familiar with the plans and has talked to the architect, and I think we're fully aware of where we're headed with this. And if anybody in the audience wants to talk about it, I'm not particularly happy about doing that way, but I will allow you a few minutes, not very many, to look at this. Anybody in the audience that wants to look at it, we'll have it up here. You can come pick up mine if you want to, and take it out and look at it. It's going to be a really good facility, I believe, when we get it finished. And we'll be working on it regularly, and we have regular reports from the architect and from the other people involved. We have some local people who are Sue Butler's all I think her name is. And I could say Carter, but I still think she's Sue Butler. And she is active, very active in the historical part of the courthouse and other phases of what's going on with the county. If you have concerns or if you have any kind of questions about the courthouse, in addition to the architect, Sue would be able, I think, to talk intelligently about them, and there are probably some other folks that are as knowledgeable also in the audience. So, take off and say whatever you want to say.
Okay. Well, I'll run through the layout of the courthouse because that's really the essence of what we've been accomplishing over the last month or so. We have had a workshop with the commissioners, then we've met with various department heads, with Denise, with the county attorney's office, and we've talked about how this building could be used, and we seem to be about a really good plan. This is the east entrance to the building, and this is the west entrance to the building. They will be the primary access points that run through the middle of the building. On the south side of the facility will be located the district clerk's office. She will also have authority over this space, which is an office, but that will also be used for a visiting district judge to come in and have a place to stay while he's on campus. And there's also some storage in there. The county judge's office will be also located on the first floor. His office is right at the front door. Then there's the secretary's office. Most people will probably come to see her first and be directed to either the commissioner's area back here or the county judge's office. And then there's a shared conferring room, meeting room, so that any of the commissioners can have a meeting there, or that can be reserved by the public, I hope, for use in many ways. Or other county business can be conducted in that room. There's restrooms, men's and women's, on this floor, small ones. There's the elevator, and then there's the fire stair that goes all 3 floors. The north exit hall will mainly be an exit hallway. We probably will station a security person down here in the ground floor that can have control over what's going on and who's coming and going in the courthouse. So this is the second floor. Yes.
Second.
You need to pick it up in the first schematic that you showed that the commissioners are going to have actual office space.
One little cubby hole, kind of a space where they can go in and pick up their mail and maybe sit down with a citizen and have a brief conversation. If they have a bigger meeting, they can go across the hallway and use that meeting room. But it's just a small area here. This is about 15 by 8, and it has one of those turret windows in the corner. And so we're just showing a few chairs and tables, but maybe it'll be one desk or something, that sort of thing. They all have spaces around the county, I believe, in other areas, but this would be a space for them to meet here in the courtroom. Then on the second floor, this is the district court layout. So the entire district court takes over the historic courtroom. This portion of the building is made up of gallery seating, people here to see the court proceedings. This is called the well. These are the attorney's tables. The judge is on axis right here in the middle. There's the witness stand, the jury box, court reporter, district clerk, bailiff, handicap ramps. In case the judge is handicapped, they can use this way to get up on this raised platform, which is 14 inches up. The witness is 7 inches up off the floor. Then the jury would, once they're put into their position of conferring, they would go back to the jury room, and it would have a unisex toilet so people did not have to go out into the hallway again. They also have a little coffee pot area here. On this floor, since this has seating for 104 people, this floor will have the men's and the women's restrooms, 3 toilets in the women's, 2 urinals and a toilet in the men's. There will be water fountains in the hallway, and then a holding cell. So if the prisoner is brought up the stairway, he goes across the hall and is put into a holding cell here until he's brought into the court. Of course, this floor is served by an elevator. So this scheme is for the district clerk. But the next scheme...
Could I ask a question?
Let me finish the presentation first.
Okay.
So if the...
On the courtroom.
With just a rearrangement of the furniture, you have, these are the attorney tables pulled together. This is the district clerk's table. You have an arrangement for the commissioner's court. And then if other people need to sit nearby, they could use the county clerk or the county, the reporter's tables. The jury could be used for additional seating. And then this is the layout again for the seating. So it's a very minor moving around of a little bit of furniture, and then you have going to a commissioner's court. We think this is really good because it's going to mean that this big courtroom space is going to be used more than if it was just one or the other. So we'll be using it for commissioner's court several times a month, maybe a public meeting, a public hearing, and then all of the times when it's used for district court. And then on the third floor...
I would like to ask a question about that, please, sir.
May I finish the presentation?
On the courtroom. No, on the courtroom.
I believe I have the floor.
Let him finish his presentation.
Okay.
And then
All right.
And then on the third floor, we have offices. So we have room for the county attorney to be here. and the county attorney's staff, 4 persons in this area. Then there's a conferring room or conference room across the hall where during a trial or during the week, various people can have a place to go and meet. This is the fire stair going down in the elevator. There is one other additional office where we understand during district court there's a need for maybe a probation officer or a lawyer or another conferring space. So that's another space that can make the court system work better. So that concludes that. Yes, ma'am.
I expressed my concern at the workshop, Mr. Fisher, about the acoustical properties, and you explained to us that Bexar County had a wonderful, unique acoustical correction, and we have some counties around us who are not able to use their courtrooms.
Right.
Okay, and you said that, you explained that to us. Are you going to put that in the plans?
We found that this product called acoustical plaster is very effective in reducing, reverberant sound within the room where sound is bouncing off of hard surfaces. What it is, we'll have the brick walls, they're there. We will attach some sort of a furring strip to those walls, which is a wood strip. And then there's about 1.5 inches of this fibrous material. And those go up on those nailers that get attached to that. And then this special plaster that lets sound penetrate through that goes through that material and gets absorbed and not bounces around. And so we'll put that on all of the high walls. Because it is soft, it can be damaged. We'll have regular plaster down to about 7 or 8 feet. And then above that, like along the balcony wall where the balcony was supposed to go but was never built, that'll be all absorptive and wrapping around all above the side walls. So we'll create as much of that material. We'll also have an acoustical consultant check this out and tell us how much of that material we need so that we can plan for good acoustics. We can't just guess at it. We have to know there's a kind of a formula that he will use to say how much we need. So I think we're going to have a much better situation than, say, Goliad, which is very reverberant in their 2-story courtroom.
Well, I did not understand whether you were going to put it in the courtroom, and so that was the reason I brought it up again.
Yes, we definitely will be.
Okay.
That's one of the things THC has learned over the years is they can't always restore these buildings back exactly like they were. They have to allow modifications so that they're functioning for the people who are using them in this century.
Mr. Fisher, will all 3 accesses on the first floor be handicap accessible? All 3
I haven't gotten to that detail yet. Is that desirable?
I was just curious. I would think at least the north entrance should be, because it would have easy access to the parking lot, rather than necessarily the east or the west.
I know it's pretty easy to do on the east, and on the west we had called for a rather long ramp originally, but now we're going to have more opportunity to level that off. I will do what we can to make.
I was just curious because nothing had been talked about.
You're aware of that need. I know you are. We've discussed it, and I would suggest that any of the commissioners are also aware of it, and would be happy to discuss it with any of the citizens that have questions about it.
Yes, architects have a requirement, a legal requirement. Any building that costs more than $50,000, we have to send our plans to a registered accessibility specialist and have those plans reviewed to make sure that they are designed to meet the accessibility requirements. So that's a pre-building permit review. And you have to get that review before you can get a building permit. So accessibility is very important to the state of Texas, and we will be following all those rules. So the restrooms, the water fountains, the spaces themselves, the elevator, the building should be very close to 100% accessible.
I wish that the citizens of the county had enough confidence in the court to understand that we're concerned about all the same things that you're concerned about, and we will continue to be, and we are following the progress on this, and we have some people that are working with us. Sue is one of them. Thank you, Sue, very much. If y'all don't understand what Sue does, you ought to come and talk to her and follow her around for a while, and she's been extremely helpful. And will continue to be, and the court's all concerned about this, and will continue to be. So if you've got problems, I would like to think that you trust us to take care of them, but if you don't, we'll talk to us about it, and we'll see if we can't maybe get our thinking the same way yours is. So just stay in touch with us, if you will. We're not omnipotent on what we know or do or say, but we're going to build the best new courthouse that's not a new courthouse that we can for the benefit of the citizens of this county, not for our benefit, not for anybody else's. And the architects are working with us. We appreciate everything they do very much, and have been extremely pleased with it up until this point. And I'm hopeful that we'll continue to be. I know no reason why we wouldn't be. So thank you at this point. Anything else?
Yes, sir. I'd just like to ask, I don't believe that the space that you have for the commission is adequate for the constituents of the county, and to consider perhaps moving this building or this office apparently is going to be vacated, and you're going to have the district clerk's office, and perhaps the commissioner could actually have an office, a shared secretary, so they would have regular office hours where they can sit with their constituents and not have to be concerned with moving to another room to talk to a constituent or something like that. And that other counties, each commissioner has an office, posted working hours that they would be in each office, and a method of getting in touch with them. I mean, right now, I can't find a way to get it.
You can come to this office and get in touch with them anytime.
I understand that, but I'm saying.
Well, we understand the need, and it bothers me that y'all don't think we understand the need for something like that, and we do, and we're going to work with the architects and the builders, the people that are working on it, to try to do that. If you have ideas, come and talk to us. I will appreciate them. I hope everybody that's involved in the county government will. And we're watching this. We have confidence in the architect. He's done an excellent job for us so far. I think we'll continue to, and I don't think we need to be concerned about that. But if you are, come and talk to the court. Come and talk to him. I think he'll be available where willing to talk with anybody. So, with that said, is there anything else at this time, Mr. Fisher?
No. We are here asking for approval of schematic design that will allow us to go into what is called design development, where we will really be looking at all of the design features, light fixtures, floor materials, all of the details of design, and we'll get those set and present them to you. And when that is set, then that'll be in about a month away, and then we can proceed on construction documents, which is detailing all of that design into buildable plans.
Well, and the schematic design that you're talking about is what you have been displaying to the court. And,
yes.
I mean, this is not something that has just come up that
no, and thank you
you're seeing or showing us for the first time.
Thank you for the time that all the staff has given to us to be able to understand your needs. That's made a big difference in knowing how to put it down on paper.
Thank you.
Mr. Fisher, two quick things. One is, I'm assuming that this is going to pass muster with the Texas Historical Commission in terms of their acceptance of the plans you have.
Yes, I think so. They came to our first workshop, and I believe they came to one other meeting. So they're aware that where we are in this process. We'll be sending them a copy of this immediately, showing where we stand on it. And they did not express any concern about us using the downstairs for the district clerk. I think they thought that was a good idea because of the use of the building, and they love the idea of using the commissioner's court for two purposes. So I think they're really on board with us.
Okay, that was one thing. The other thing is, I think, and I'm not 100% sure of this, that we have some redundancy, that we have another architect looking over your shoulder, so to speak. And what I would like to see happen is if we could dispense with that redundancy and you could report frequently about progress where we would not have to be paying two people basically to do the same thing.
I don't think that Sharon is under contract. Sharon,
Mrs. Daly
is not.
She isn't.
she's-
Okay.
Just for the roof.
Just for the roof, okay.
Just-
Well, that was my concern. I don't see any reason. If everything that you've done that I see is certainly good and acceptable, why should we pay two people to be doing the same thing? So, excuse me, I'm on base there a little
She
bit.
just on the roof.
Okay.
You're not off base. I've been concerned about the same things, and I'm quietly thinking that we're taking care of it all right.
Okay, thank you so much. Is this an action item we need to approve?
Yes,
Yes,
I'll go
we
with-
need to approve the schematic design plan.
I move that we approve the schematic design plans with Fisher Heck Architects.
Second.
And also I'd like to, if we approve this motion, I'd like the plans to be put on the county website for the public to view.
If Joe could give us a little publicity on that too, that would be good.
You're in the publicity business still, aren't you, Joe? And we appreciate everything you do for us. Thank you very much. With that said, we have a motion and a second to approve or disapprove the schematic design plan with Fisher Heck, and all in favor, all of the court in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same signal, same sign. All voted for, motion carried. So that will be approved, and thank you very much, we appreciate it.
We'll move forward. Thank you.
All right. Item 11 is the next item on the agenda. Approve, disapprove the need for assistance to agricultural producers and homeowners in Karnes County with the control of noxious weeds, species, whatever. I don't know how to read it, how to pronounce it. You want to tell us what that is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not as smart as you. I did.
Judge Long has given me approval to notify or to recognize our 4-Hers that have come with me in honor of County Government Week. So I just wanted to recognize we got a great, outstanding group of young people that have taken an interest in the county government, and they joined us today. So I just wanted to recognize them.
Why don't y'all stand up and these are all 4-H,
These are all 4-H members, very active 4-H members. We have, we're honored in Karnes County to have a wonderful group of young people, and these are just a handful of our outstanding youth that, like I said, have taken an interest in the county government and wanted to join us here. They'll be joining us again at the Capitol on the 28th. And,
we appreciate all that very much, and we appreciate y'all a lot. Thank you for your participation, and we hope you'll keep participating and keep helping us through the coming times. Thank you. Y'all can sit down.
Okay, and now while I'm here, some of you may remember Karnes County some time back was fighting the invasion of a noxious weed species Noxious weed being a weed that is invasive and potentially detrimental to crops, farmland, front yards, backyards, anything productive. This particular noxious weed species, common name, branch broomrape. It's a pretty attractive little flower, but it's very invasive and it's very non-beneficial to our production and productive ecosystem. The scientific name is Orobonchi ramosa. It's a little yellow stalk plant with white flowers. I did leave some news releases back there. That release, I believe Mr. Baker is going to have published in the paper. I sent it to him last week. But there are a few copies that I put back there. There's a large picture on our AgriLife Extension table that's in the hallway in honor of County Government Week if you want to stop by and take a closer look at it. Anyway, this weed species came into the county. It was discovered in 1981 and kind of hung around. From that time, the USDA allotted a certain amount of funds to the Texas Department of Agriculture, and then the Texas Department of Agriculture in turn allotted that money to Karnes County. And that money was used to put together a task force. From what I understand, Commissioner Rosales at the time helped head the task force. It was a gentleman who went out and treated all the species in order to keep this noxious weed from invading cropland. It's very easily spreadable. It produces one of the smallest seeds in existence. And as you may imagine, a small seed like that, a slight gust of wind will carry it. Pickup driving by and create a gust of wind will carry it. Most importantly, people running a mower over it will scatter it, or it could attach to a mower deck, and then, or a brush hog or what have you. They go to another field with cross-contaminated. There's the potential for large problems. So far, we're not seeing a huge problem. In the prayer this morning, I know we thank the good Lord for all the rain we've had, and yes, it's a wonderful blessing, but with a wonderful blessing, sometimes comes a shortfall, and what it is was this seed lives in the soil for in excess of 10 years without blooming. All this rain has come, and we're seeing it come back up. So far, I've been out and laid eyes on it in Santa Maria and Runge, the two areas where the TDA allowed us to fight in previous years. Right now, from what I've seen, it appears to be all on private property. I don't know if the county can do anything about that. So I am advising people on how to treat it. A light mix of Roundup, anything with an active ingredient of glyphosate is a good treatment. Basically, what I'm up here for today is to create public awareness. If you see this plant or you think you have seen this plant, please notify us so that we can notify who's attending to that area on treatment methods and on prevention methods from transferring it. And then also to speak to the commissioners about possibly laying out some sort of emergency protocol or maybe allowing someone, be it Road and Bridge or whoever may take care of these things, to be prepared if it were to enter the roadsides in the bar ditch or something like that, that we could spray for it in order to prevent it from becoming detrimental to ample production within the county.
What kind of spray works best for eradicating?
There are several different methods. One that used to be very popular was just to dig up and remove a physical treatment, which is still perfectly acceptable. But we've noticed over the years that by disturbing the plant physically, we do potentially spread that seed. So there's a chemical called Grazon P plus D. Grazon is a broadleaf weed control. The way this plant works, and I should have mentioned this earlier, the way this plant works, it's a parasite, and it hosts off of another plant, namely large broadleaf weed species such as Engelmann daisies, bluebonnets. It can attach in cropland such as radishes or carrots. The roots off of this plant kind of look like a clover root. It's real stringy, and they attach to the roots of their host plant and choke them out. So that's basically how it works. So when we spray for it, because this is not a green plant, we can't, there's not really anything we can spray to kill the plant. What we have to do is kill and or stunt the growth of its host plant in order to choke it out. Just like any parasite, we've got to kill the host. So what we recommend, our best recommendation because of environmental impact, would be a treatment of Roundup. And what you'll read in the news article is glyphosate. Glyphosate is just the primary active ingredient in Roundup. We recommend a 1% mixture. 1% mixture, for those of y'all with an agricultural knowledge, is a fairly light mix of Roundup. It's not necessarily going to kill the host plant, but it's going to stunt the growth of it enough that would prevent seed production from this broom rake weed. So Roundup is my recommendation, especially if we went into treating large amounts, because if we use something like Grazon P plus D, Grazon, very beneficial chemical, but when we talk about chemicals, there's all sorts of negative fallbacks, especially when you're working around people that may not have that agricultural knowledge. It emits an odor that can be disturbing, and it has the potential to be a more dangerous chemical, thus the reason that it is a restricted use herbicide, meaning you have to have a license or have to be certified to use that chemical. So it has more of a potential to cause a problem. Roundup does not emit an odor. Roundup is not restricted use. It's easier to come by. It's quite a bit more price effective than Grazon P plus D, which is a very expensive chemical. So there's several options, Roundup being what I'm going with recommending right now.
I'm assuming, excuse me, Judge, I'm assuming that the federal government, with its cutbacks and less for agriculture and more for food stamps, does not have any money for us right now.
I have, since the start of this, I've been on the phone with the USDA. I've spoken directly to one of the men in the finance office there. I've spoken directly to some advisors with the Texas Department of Agriculture, and no, these budgets were cut in 2008. That money was sent to us. They felt that they had it under control. I've spoken to the agent who was on duty at that time. You may all remember Dennis Hale. I've spoken to Dennis several times. We keep in touch, and he said he was very upset. He said when they cut the funding, we almost had it beat, and then the funding got cut, and of course we couldn't do anything about it. Our only option for funding would be county. So if we come to that and we're looking for some sort of emergency protocol, be it to keep chemicals in place or to find a company to spray for it or something like that, our only option that I know of right now would be through the county, because the USDA, the federal government, do not have any funds to send our way.
What about TDA?
TDA was working on it, and they're still looking into it, and I'm in contact with them. Personally, I don't see it as being promising, but we are still looking into it.
Anything else?
No, sir. Like I said, there's some blown up pictures setting out on our AgriLife table right outside the door. A few copies of this news release. Be watching the countywide. It's going to come out there. If you have any questions, please contact the Extension office. Our number is at the bottom of that news release. And again, I want to thank the judge and commissioners for having me up here to create a public awareness of the problem that we could be facing.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing on it very much, and of course, this is something that's important to all of us. I don't know that we all recognize that it is, particularly, but it is, and it's been a problem. I've lived here 52 years, 53 years, and it's been a problem ever since I've been here. It's not any closer, I don't think, to eradication than it was when I first moved here.
Probably not. It's not as widespread right now, but that doesn't mean it's gone.
People don't stay concerned about it when we work on it. Well, it kind of dies down, and we think, well, we got that taken care of, and not necessarily so.
Yes, sir.
I know, Jared, you'll be working on a protocol just in case.
Okay.
And, I know when we pay the bills, there's $35,600 we paid as turf applications. And it says where I read it, sprayed all the county roads. So hopefully, if, I don't know what they sprayed with, but hopefully maybe it might have been already caught some of it prior.
And that's possible.
Yeah, so,
Sprayed with remedy. They sprayed
With remedy?
Okay, remedy wouldn't affect it.
Would not affect
No,
it.
sir, remedy's,
killed everything else.
for a wood-based,
Yes.
namely.
Who did the spraying or directed that we use?
Road and Bridge, I guess.
Well, I don't know that they did it. You hired a company, an outside company.
Who, what
Mike Wozniak hired them.
Out of Alabama.
Well, yeah.
And they use remedy to spray and.
That's what he told me. It's a
A
local
company called Southern Roots Vegetation.
Only did about 3 feet of the county road on our, County Road 330. They didn't get the whole in, only about that much of the edge of the road.
If you would come back to us if this becomes critical,
Yes, sir.
I'm sure the court will consider what's necessary at the time.
I can sure keep, work on getting something in place, and also, if the court feels necessary, speak to some of the producers here in the county. I have a relationship with them. We have local companies that can do some spraying like that. Gentlemen who not may, but very, very likely have a greater knowledge of the chemicals needed than I do. So if the court so desires, I can sure visit with these gentlemen and see if they have any recommendations or possible protocols in place for such things.
I know we were using federal dollars, but in the past, but also fairly aware that they did go on private property. I don't know how that would run afoul of using. I guess if it's a item that would create a problem for the county, I guess we could work some way around in order to do it. I know Zachary Yannicall said the Catholic Cemetery in Runge had it.
That is, Zachary Yonta and I work very closely together. In fact, he sent me a text message early this morning saying that we do have a professor from Texas A&M University that's going to come take a look as well. And I went to the cemetery. The Catholic Cemetery in Runge is covered up. There's a homeowner in Runge that has reported to me as well. Commissioner Dubnik and I spoke to the gentleman yesterday. They've been fighting the problem for a long time, and the other area that I've gone and actually laid my own eyes on it is directly behind the Catholic Church in Punta Maria, and there's quite a bit there, which most of it lies on the few houses, if you're familiar with the area, the few houses right behind the church there. Those are the places that I have personally gone out and seen it. And I want to mention while I'm talking about that, the plant is not toxic to us if you go touch it or, you could rub it on your face. It's not going to hurt you. It's not a toxic plant. It's just an invasive species. But those are the places where I've gone and personally seen it around.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. It seems to me that we need to have some kind of continued program with our road and bridge people that ought to be doing some parasite control on this sort of thing. I'm not sure, they may have some, I may not know about it, but I'm not aware of it.
Only one I'm aware of that they do is the road spraying, which does,
They're just doing the right-of-way spraying, Judge. It's typical system that would be used on any county around the state, and they're hitting the stuff that's right there between the fences, basically. I don't think they're doing anything on the private property necessarily. And don't know what species they're targeting with the spray that they're using. I don't know the particulars.
Are they fence row spraying?
Yeah, basically.
Or they're trying to keep down the brush.
Try to keep the limbs back and keep the weeds down along the paved edge.
But it's not really aimed at this particular.
No, not at all. I don't think so.
Okay, well, we'll look further into it, I would say, and go from there. Any other comments? Thank you very much, we appreciate it. Item 12 on the agenda, discuss act on creating budget calendar for 2015 and 2015-16 budget, what it should be. In addition to the department must prepare staffing needs offered by me and by Shelby. And I'm going to give credit to Shelby. He asked that we do this, and it's very important. And I have started some budget work that we need to be working on big time, and we'll have more meetings about the budget and the needs that we're going to have. And so, what is that?
She gave us the calendar.
All right.
We have create a calendar for the budget schedule, it's got a list of the events that are just, those are thrown in there, and proposed dates and dates are just be changes, kind of give us an idea. Run. I know it's the judge's thing to do, but I've got a concern that we don't start doing something on the budget now. We're going to get to the point where it's going to be crunch time, and we're going to be struggling again, as we always do, to try to make the deadline. So I'm just asking that the judge, and I guess maybe the county auditor need to look at the thing together in court, and ask that all the department heads start putting together your staffing needs for the coming year, or what we need, putting in now. Be thinking, and just we can start setting the workshops so we come in, we'll know what we got to do. If you're going to need more people or if you're going to need less people, so we can kind of get a feel for what's going on, what capital outlays we might be needing. We need to get these discussions done soon, started early, because with the reduction in oil prices, there might be a tough time coming. Who knows? So that's just what I'm asking the court to consider. I know it's directly up to the judge because he is the chief budget officer for the county, but I just felt that we need to start making a move now.
I intend to start and intend for the Commissioner's Court to be totally involved in the budget preparation. Actually, the auditor will be involved in it, and we're going to have work sessions, so you might as well get ready, and y'all are going to be part of it, a major part of it. I'm not going to take all the blame this year. I'm not running for re-election, but I don't much care. But we need to get going on this, and I'll schedule some stuff, and we'll start meeting about the budget.
And if we ever get it, once we do approve a budget calendar, I'm going to ask that it be placed on the county website so everybody can look at it.
Well, sure, we'll do that.
I hope that we start quickly. I mean, I'm looking at the dates on here, and I'm certainly not being critical, because I know it many times in the past, probably it was way later than this before the court got going, but since my learning curve is still pretty vertical, that the earlier we start, the better from my standpoint.
And I agree, and this is the first one I've worked on for the county, although I worked a great deal on the Kennedy school budget from time to time. I've served on the board 4 times, I think. The smart citizens in the school district got rid of me 3 of those times, but decided they need to elect me back again, and so we worked hard on the budget, and we'll do the same thing in this court.
And I guess why I really want to push the budget to start early is that, we've got a lot of things that we're going to decide, and I guess I'm talking about allocating space to the different departments that may end up being put in a building, if we have another building to put them into, whatever we're going to do. So they'll have an idea, so we can kind of plan for that, because some of these moves, again, as the auditor said one time, and the clerk, I guess, and everybody in the workshop, that we did make it a one-time move, and so we're all set in one spot. And that's not gonna happen, and it's gonna take a little planning and a lot of extra work and effort and forethought on how to do some of this stuff. I think we're on our way now with the schematics for the courthouse, but it's just gonna be a challenge to do all this stuff, and again, with the reduction in the price of oil, I don't know what's gonna happen.
We're not gonna go away, we're not gonna die, we're not gonna do anything because of the price of reduction of oil. I've lived here 53 years, and it's gone up and down ever since I've lived here, and I've been active in the oil and gas business in a good many different ways, as an attorney, as a private owner, and believe me, it's not gonna be the end of the world. I don't care what it's doing now or what it's gonna do. But we have to make plans, and we have to be ready for what goes on. So, with that said, we'll be doing some workshops and some other things that have direct contact on how we're going to handle this year. So, we'll be in touch, I assure you. Anything else on that item? I guess we're on item 12 now. 13 we took care of. We didn't talk about stepping needs any, and we'll do that in a workshop session. We don't need to do it this morning. It's not going to be good.
No, I just want the department heads to start be thinking about that, so when we get ready, they can have everything justified with, so we know where we're going.
Okay, with that said, item 13, discuss, consider act if Karnes County would like to participate in a federal surplus program. That's authored by you, Shelby.
We had a email. Eric, you got that email? I gave it to you. Okay. Anyway, it's an email from the federal surplus people in San Antonio, our office. Karnes County has always been participating in that federal surplus program, and reading it, they're asking us to renew it, but some of the people that are authorized to use that program on behalf of the county are no longer with the county. You had people like David Jalufka, Bobby Busselman, Jeffrey Beatrick, several people that have left the county, and some are not listed to authorize, so we want to participate in a program. And I think we need to have the proper people with their proper titles authorized to try to get materials on behalf of the county. Luana, I sent you that email. Did you look at it?
I haven't.
Those are good for the county.
We can end up, some of the surplus equipment, that federal equipment is deemed surplus. If it's some of it's, we can get at a very, very cheap price if we need stuff.
If we have needs, we're not going to get it just to get it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they'll have, for instance, the county bought a water truck from them years ago. Of course, there's some ties, you have to keep it for so many years, but.
DeWitt County has utilized the program substantially, and without being too critical, instead of paying $130,000 for a truck tractor, they pay $12,000 for a truck that has maybe 3,000 miles on it. And that are road trucks. I'm not talking about 6x or specialized vehicles, but the military is getting rid of so much stuff right now that there's a huge amount of civilian usable things that are coming down the pike, and I see DeWitt County has utilized it a great deal.
Look, okay, I was just going to say the two of y'all seem to have a jump on this as far as, I haven't been involved in it, that's fine. But would y'all represent, the two of you represent the county and looking into this and preparing some kind of way for us to utilize this as well as we can and utilize it for the benefit of Karnes County as well as we can. And give us a report back, we'll have a workshop, and as soon as you're ready, I'm not gonna put any time frame on you. If y'all will do that, it'll help us greatly, instead of all of us doing the same thing. So, perhaps we'll have a report by next meeting, and if not, the meeting after that. Okay? All right. All of the, item 12 is discuss, consider, and act on creating a budget calendar for the, by that, we've already passed that.
14.
Okay. Act on surplus list that has been submitted, excuse me. Now we're on 14, 15, 14. Discuss, consider, act on surplus lists that have been submitted from county departments, authored by Shelby. Have you received anything from any county department?
County attorney has submitted a surplus list of 5 items. And just a piece of Tello has submitted 5 items. And Karnes County Special Projects has submitted 3, 6, 7, about 8 items roughly. But nobody else has submitted anything other than Caroline says she does not have anything. So there's several departments that have yet to supply a list.
Well, every department probably has some surplus things that need disposing of. We've, since I've lived here, which has been considerable time, have just thrown it in the garbage pile over across the street. And the garbage pile is still piled high with garbage, I think. I was over there not too long ago, and the county clerk has been working on trying to dispose of some of that stuff. So department heads and people involved in the different departments need to start looking at the surplus things that we have and a way to dispose of them, and talk with me and with Shelby and with the other court members to enable us to start disposing of some of this trash that we have that we're never going to do anything with. Any other comments or anything, Betty?
We need to probably set up a date soon, I guess, to declare when we're gonna have get all this stuff declared surplus and then turn around and have a big sale.
All right, we'll set a workshop meeting next week. Does anybody have anything set next week? Let's tentatively set it maybe Wednesday of next week, middle of the week, and we'll meet at probably 9 in the morning and try to get through as fast as we can and discuss as many things as we need to discuss about surplus and what we're working on. What?
Just kind of put me in a loop on what day that's going to be. With the treasurer, I need to be there to collect the money. And I know there are some weekends in June and July that I won't be available. And next week I'm at my treasurer's conference, so I won't be there. But
Well, collect what money?
the money, when we do the surplus sale, the people have to pay for their stuff before they can take it. In the last 2 months.
Well, we have to set this up before they can pay for it, and that's what we're talking about now, is setting it up.
Right. And next Wednesday, I'm going to my treasurer's conference, so if y'all would be considering picking dates on that day, just kind of give you a little heads up on what days.
All right.
Thank you.
With item 15, award 2015 seal coat contract that's offered by David Underbrink.
Good morning. Passing out an updated schedule for you guys to look at, kind of shows how this project fits into other ones that we're working on.
Leave two more down here.
Of course, we can put this schedule on the website as well, like we do that.
Well, and that's what we want you to do.
Okay, just to kind of go down the list right quick, the County Road 277 bridge replacement is in the warranty phase. That's the one that's up in Gillette. The seal coat program did not get started before the cold weather, so we're waiting for warm weather. Until that
It's here.
Yeah, it's almost warm. But they're working on a schedule for that. We talked to them a couple of weeks ago about that project. The 326 bridge widening, they've ordered supplies, precast sections, and things like that for the project. So that one's under construction. They're getting ready to actually get out there and start installing pieces in the next couple of weeks. So the next on the list is this seal coat program that we're talking about right now. So he should have passed out a little packet, summary tables with a bid tab at the back of that. We had 4 bidders for the seal coat project. The low bid was $1,696,259.51. That was a Big Tex Paving Incorporated. And our recommendation would be to award that contract and, of course, have the judge execute the documents for that agreement with Big Tex. If you want to turn to the bid tabulation, it shows some more particulars about the bid. It's basically $50,000 a mile. I mentioned that at the last meeting. We had just opened bids prior to that meeting. So I'll entertain any questions you may have, but that would be the recommendation, is to award to Bid Tex and let the judge sign the documents.
What does that provide in the way of startup? When will they start on whatever the contract covers, and what kind of completion time?
This one also is a very weather-dependent operation, so they have to get some sunny days, but they're talking about being able to finish this within 2 to 3 weeks tops, whenever they can start.
And this provides exactly for what?
This is in most instances, it's a double course treatment of pavements.
For what distance?
This is 33 miles, 34 miles worth of work. It's a unit price contract, so it's actually paid. If you look at the bid tabulation, we have quantities of gallons and cubic yards for payment. So we'll actually monitor what they buy and pay them based on that. But it's 34 miles worth of roads.
Okay. And that's putting what on the 34 miles?
2 courses of oil, each course of oil followed by a course of aggregate.
And there's a particular 34 miles.
Yes.
And it's not just 34 miles countywide.
It's spread around the county. The contract documents have drawings that show that.
Have we had those presented to the court where we could look at it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we authorized bids. Yes.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
I'm not questioning any of these companies, but I know recently the city of Yorktown had a train wreck on a company that came in and bid some of their city streets and then were unable to complete them. Are we comfortable that these people are all capable and financially solid enough to do the work?
Yes,
enough to do the work.
Yes, matter of fact, all 4 of these bidders, plus a few of the other ones who elected not to turn in bids, are all good companies. Big Tex, Plo, even Brannon, and I think even Weaver all do state work. So they're pretty good contractors.
I know Brennan and Weaver do, so.
Right.
One.
Saying that it costs approximately $50,000 per mile
Yes, sir.
with the current bidder.
That's right. That's the low bid.
Let's
Should it be,
reject. Big Tech.
Should there be any discrepancy or between what we pay and what the state pays for the same operation?
You know, really, there shouldn't be,
But the state pays $30,000 a mile.
well, this is for a 2-course application, and a 1-course application typically will run about
So
$30,000.
they're, on a farm market road, they're only put one course down.
It usually runs about $30,000 if you're doing 1 course, and if you're doing 2 courses, the mobilization costs and all that sort of stuff that get included in just getting started will bring the cost down, so each subsequent course is a little bit cheaper. Also, I think, like I said, I think the prices are real good. I was estimating about $65,000 a mile for this project.
My only concern is the 33 miles, how many of those miles are going to get a double course versus a single course?
Just about, I think 99% get a double course.
99%.
In other words, if you need a double course, you're getting a double course on the road this time with this contract.
Maurice, if you look at the bids, you can look at
Well,
that.
if there's no surface on there, it needs a double course.
That's how many miles is
30, 33, 30, almost 34. It's all but 1 or 2 little short roads.
I would like to suggest,
Wait a second. Are y'all through?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to suggest perhaps that the Commissioners Court check with the state to see if they use a 2-course application process, and if so, I think that if we're paying $50,000, they're paying $30,000 a mile. That's a significant discrepancy, and I think that, it should be looked at before we authorize a contract. It's 20 grand a mile is a lot of money for us over 33 miles.
That's not the case here, Mr. Yarder.
I would like,
Well,
that's my recommendation.
You said whatever you wanted to say. Again, what are you recommending that we do
That you
exactly?
award this contract to Big Tex Paving Incorporated, and then also allow the judge to sign the
And this per mile is what?
$50,000 per mile for a double course.
Okay.
46,000.
We're awarding the contract in
Yeah,
the amount of
sure.
$1,696,000.
Yeah, 46193 is the figure on this bid page that we're looking at.
Right.
And the state's also going to 3 courses.
The state will do single course, double course, triple course, just depends on the road.
They've been doing 3 courses on 72.
Right.
That's a different road.
Well, I was gonna say, when they rehabbed 81 from Helena to Runge, they did a double course on that. And now they've had, of course, that is so heavily traveled there, it's breaking up on them.
A seal course is really meant to keep water out of the pavement structure itself. That's the main benefit of something like that. We are also counting on dust control, because it'll give you dust control as well. So those are the main 2 things that we're getting from a seal coat type of project.
We have already, I'm pretty sure, addressed the workup or the base structure. I think Road and Bridge is taking care of that on all of this. Is that not correct?
They're trying to get out in front of the contractors so that they don't hold up the contractor from being able to just go.
Okay, and if I remember right, we're using base material plus the mat. Is that also
Not
correct?
necessarily the map.
Not necessarily the map.
These are roads that are really not in the program for really heavily trafficked roads. These are going to be roads that are lighter duty, and they've already got a decent pavement structure there, and so we're trying to keep a good surface on the road.
That would be my question, David, is this is what I tried to ask the last time I was here, is I would hope that each of you commissioners would ask for a report from Mr. Wozniak on a monthly basis of what roads were done in your precinct, because you know as well as I know that we had a $3 million bond. There was a lot of material hauled out. Commissioner Dicknick said the last meeting there was $4 to $5 million worth of material that has been put down on the roads. And we've had this heavy rain, that material just washes off. It's just really wasted if we don't follow up with some type of seal coat program on top of this material that we spent a lot of money on. So I guess my question is we had two men that just determined we're gonna seal coat 33 miles, and I don't understand where the commissioners become involved in making those decisions as to what gets done and how much gets done and where the accountability of the funds goes.
I think we've gone over some of this before, and I certainly acknowledge that, you know, there are some things that need to be corrected. If we go 2 or 3 more items down on this agenda to 18, we get to the enzyme additive part of it, and I'm hoping that that will be the solution to the lesser traveled roads in the county, to where when we do rehab them, we can use something like that in order to, as you say, keep them from washing off. They got to keep the maintainer off of them then. But you know, that's my hope. I don't know whether it's. I guess we'll find out whether the product works or not after a test run on it. And if it does, in fact, then I would like the court to consider utilizing that as we rehab these lesser used roads in lieu of spending the money for the seal coat to use this enzyme product that they presented to us. Were you here last time, Mrs. Hall, when the lady?
$9,000 a mile.
Yeah,
and actually said, if you watch the video, he actually said that after he recommended 2 weeks after putting this down,
To seal coat it.
Seal coated or chip seal.
Otherwise, after a year, it's potholed again, and you've wasted your $49,000 a mile.
Well, watch the video, because he actually says that. I recommend after 2 weeks, at least within 2 weeks, that this is seal coated or chip seal.
Okay, well, I guess I
We're on
misunderstood.
326, that's the plan. I mean, on 320, not 326, on 344, the one road, the back road to Kennedy from Karnes City, that's where the P2 is supposed to go. I think that road is planned to be paved right after that's done.
Well, that's what he recommended. That's what the man demonstrated.
And I think that's, my understanding, that is the plan. That road will be.
Will we let that contract?
Not yet.
Is it in this today? It's not, is it?
Yes, sir. For the process, the enzyme process,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's on
No, on paving another road. I can look at the roads, but.
On the previous meeting, we were talking about the emulsified asphalt product. And you're right, the enzyme product is on the agenda later on today.
Any other comments?
The 2013-14 seal coat, I see we're in April with the construction, you'll be closed out in June. Do you think that's still going to be a?
Yes, sir, it should be warming up October, they can hit it, and we can get that done. The closeout may actually occur before it's shown on this schedule.
It'll occur before July.
It could, yes.
So I'm moving, we approve Big Tex paving as the award bid, Big Tex paving for the
2015 seal coat.
15 seal coat.
And authorize the judge to
And
sign.
authorize the judge to sign, also have these, put on the, county website.
Put on what?
On the county website for the public to view.
Okay. Aren't all of the things that we do put on the county website, who picks and chooses what goes on? I don't.
Well, I just asked them to do it in the motion. Well, I think anything we spend money on, I'd be put out on the website.
Well, I agree, and I thought that's what we were doing, but apparently I thought wrong.
I just want to make sure that I say it that way, so make sure that it gets done that way. It's in the minutes.
All right.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I came in a little late, I apologize, I was in Tennessee, but I didn't make it. Mr. Shelby, okay, this is item number 15, right?
Right.
Okay, and it's for, I came in late, so I'm just catching up. Is County Road?
No, it's the seal coat program.
Seal coat contract.
34
So that's
mile.
Just an approval that we're, for the seal
We're
coat.
awarding the contract.
contract to the contractor
Okay.
that's the low bidder.
To certain mileage
It's for the 34 miles described in the contract.
in the contract, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Judge. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, what?
You have a motion.
We have a motion and a second on, the seal coat contract.
No
Just a
second.
motion, no second yet.
No second.
No, sir.
I'll second it. I'll go ahead and second it. Okay. So we have a motion and a second at this point to award the 2015 seal coat contract to whom, I'm not sure, I didn't write.
Big Tex Paving.
The first,
Big Tex.
yeah, it's the first contractor on that list underneath your document.
Okay.
Judge.
All right. Is there any other discussion on the awarding of the contract for the seal coat right there? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor of awarding the contract to Big Tex Paving Inc., which is the low bidder, the cost per mile $46,461.93, a total cost of $1,696,259.51. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. All voted for, motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, now the next item, if I may.
Item 16. All right.
Passing out a bid tabulation. This is County Road 199. It's the next item on your schedule. And we took bids last week. County Road 199. There's a cover page. There were 4 bidders. Now, what I'm passing out is three pieces of paper. There's 2 large-size sheets on the front. If you go to the back sheet, it's a smaller page. It has the summary information for the bid tabs. That's showing what our recommendation for County Road 199 would be, is to award the contract to Ray Ferris Inc., and the amount of that contract is $1,945,82.29.
Okay, that's not the back page, that's an interior page, but where the four bids are.
It's named out by the sheet with 4 bidders shown. And then the 2 larger size Z-folded sheets give you some more information, some more detail about this bid, but I wanted to just go over right quick. In those 2 pages, the first page shows the total roadway cost highlighted in yellow. This is the large size sheet as $1,745,283.29. Comes to a cost per mile of about $397,000 a mile. The second page behind that one in yellow shows a total cost for drainage improvements on 199 of almost $200,000. So the roadway cost separated from the other. I just wanted y'all to be able to keep these numbers in your head so you are seeing about what roadway costs are versus drainage improvements.
Go through that again, I didn't understand, and I don't have it in my head, so,
One more time. The first sheet has a couple of numbers highlighted in yellow.
which I see.
Okay, the first one, the bigger number, is the total cost of roadway improvements. The cost per mile is the smaller number there, which is almost $397,000 a mile. The other page has one number highlighted in yellow, the big page. And it says almost $200,000 for drainage improvements. So it's the drainage improvements, whatever you need for a road to get drainage across it. As that changes, I wanted to separate that out and let y'all see what the differences were as we start to go through and award some of these projects. Okay, so if you add the two numbers together, we get back to this 8.5 by 11 page that I started off with. So the recommendation would be to award drainage plus roadway improvements in the amount of $1,945,082.29 to Ray Ferris Incorporated. And each of these bidders, we even got some state road bidders. Hunter Industries is a state road company. Ray Ferris, JR Sidewalk, and Sidewalk, and ABN are all doing county work and other city work around the state. So 4 very qualified bidders for County Road 199.
Are some of these the same people that are working in DeWitt County possibly?
ABN I know is working in DeWitt County. I don't think anybody else is at this point on this list.
Any comments, board members, questions, answers, anything? There's a motion,
Not yet.
not a motion.
This about 4.5 miles.
Yes, about.
199, and it's 7.3?
No, I don't think it's quite that.
Which one's 6.6?
I thought 211 was a 7-mile one.
I think 199 is about 4.5 miles.
I thought it's 6 point something. So 211 is the bigger one.
211 is almost 7 miles.
Any other questions or discussion?
I know we have to make a motion to go ahead and do this, but just for the public, we did go out for bids on here, and we got bids, and it seems like Ray Ferris is the lowest bidder. Of course, it's high compared to the way it used to be. Everything's going up, but we did get bidders on it, and we are going with the lowest one. And their reviews on Ray Ferris, the reviews on Ray Ferris and all that, they're real good.
Yeah, and the two lowest bidders were within $50,000 of each other,
Yeah.
so I think you have really good bids.
Yes.
One was a little higher on the roadway cost, whereas the other one was a little higher on the drainage cost, but being within $50,000 on almost $2 million worth of work, that's pretty competitive.
Yeah, I was looking at the drainage cost. There's not too much of a door. There's a lot of, between two of them, there's only a $27,000 difference.
Right. They saw it similarly as what you can do.
Right. I'll make the motion on item number 17 to award the contract for County Road 199 to Ray Ferris Inc. for $1,945,082.29.
And have the judge execute the agreement.
Have the judge execute the agreement.
And put it on the website.
And put it on the
Is this a
website.
high truck traffic road? Would this be deemed a high truck traffic road?
Yes, this is one of the TIF roads, one of the top 3 roads in the county from a traffic standpoint.
It's got a large truck traffic compared to what you're talking about on the 34 miles that you're just going to do a standard seal coat. How much do we spend per mile when we haul out the material on those to seal coat them? Do you have any idea? In comparison to what we're
I'm
spending on
not sure
these?
what Road and Bridge did on those roads.
Where's Mr. Wozniak?
I think he's at a funeral today.
Yes.
In a park.
Yes.
Well, they've got 326 prepared and ready to seal coat on the running end of it, and I'm just curious if when we do it as a county and they haul the limestone in and it's built up and it's ready to seal coat and use $55,000 a mile seal coat, what are we spending on that per mile versus this $300,000 or $400,000 per mile on these other roads where you supposedly have high truck traffic? Where you're giving us figures around $400,000 a mile roughly.
That's what we're spending. As far as other roads, I'm not sure I have numbers that I can give you for those. I know it's quite a bit less than $400,000. My guess would be in the $75,000 to $100,000 a
Big
mile.
difference. Just what my question is being prudent with the money, being good stewards of the money. I talked with Judge Fowler for about an hour last week, and he is under the impression that we may not have any more 1747 money. We may not get it again. He said that the people are not filing their claims, and the legislation doesn't think that the money has been utilized properly. So it's highly likely that we may not see that kind of money coming from the state again. So this $7.7 million we got on the 1747 should be used wisely, should be used to the best of our ability as good stewards to serve our counties the best it possibly can. Well, you may not have the big budget that you have this year for the roads next year, and we need to get as much done as we can. When we spend this kind of money on just a few, 2 or 3 roads, you will spend $7.7 million, and there is no mandate other than you that decides how that's spent. He doesn't decide it. TxDOT doesn't decide it. I have talked to the state representatives. I've talked to TxDOT. It is your decision how the $7.7 million is spent and how far it goes on how many miles. So you're basically what you're doing is you're comparing yourselves to TxDOT, because they actually did the numbers and talked to the TxDOT engineer in Corpus Christi as they're redoing Highway 90, they're redoing 239, and they're redoing Highway 80. And those type of figures are actually higher than what TxDOT is using on some of their roads that they're fixing. And if you don't think they have a lot of truck traffic, that's you know, they're dealing with a whole bigger thing than we are. And our pockets are not quite that deep, I don't think. When we talk long term, okay, you're going to use the money.
The only thing I could add to that is a lot of the TxDOT projects are bid in bigger pieces, and you get an economy of scale in terms of your price per unit bid, I would believe. Now, I am certainly in concert with Mrs. Hall in terms of spending the money wisely. I think, and this is an opinion, not having been here before and not being necessarily critical of the people who were here before, but I think that initially there was some commitments made, and unfortunately, I won't say we're unable to change them. You're always able to change them, but there's also a cost to change usually. So my approach would be, and this is not good, it's not what most people want to hear, but my approach would be, let's get past this and get it done and bear the pain, and then not make the same mistake if it is a mistake twice. I don't know the ramifications of saying, no, we ain't going to do it. I don't have an idea what it might be, but it's, you can take this or you can take the courthouse or whatever else, but if we're into it and we're already deeply into it and we back away now, we may or may not be able to salvage what we've already spent on the thing. That's my approach to it. I would not vote to start on some project like this in the future, but I'm not sure it's wise to stop in the middle of the swing of the bat, so to speak, at this point. But in every sense of agreement with Mrs. Hall and those of you who have commitments, and this is not Mr. Underbrink's deal, but Road and Bridge has, in my opinion, to come up with a better method of handling the roads in general than what they're doing. It's at the best poor, and at the worst it's absolutely miserable. And I don't know whether it's our fault that we failed to give direction or if it's the administrator's fault, but somehow in the future this needs to be addressed, because I'm well aware of what she's talking about, that some of the roads are, especially those that are deemed unimportant because they're not high traffic, are just absolutely forgotten about. It took one of the constituents in my precinct 2 or 3 letters and several calls to get just the road graded in about a half-a-mile section that was really bad. Didn't fill it, but at least they did drag it. So I understand where you're going, and I understand the pain, but my question would be, what happens if we say, no, we're not going to do this?
Well, I don't think anybody, at least from my perspective, is asking you to say no.
Okay.
We're actually asking that you talk about it like Judge Long has a workshop and listen to some alternatives, you know, and kick this around. Like Shelby wants a fabulous EMS department, and then the EMS department can't get down the road to the victim. And I've said that before, and it seems redundant that nobody pays attention to it. But you just listen to Mike Wozniak stand up there and say, I got 10 blades running, right? Well, he's paying oil-filled prices because he's hiring them from another company to have it running. And how's that working for him today after we just got 3 inches of rain on
The
it?
blades have to come back.
With no bid.
Sir?
I say with no bidding process, just
Well, I don't know
hired
about the
them.
bidding process. I'm just saying you just
Yeah.
ran the blades down the road and it rained 3 inches and we're right back to where we were before we paid for those 10 blades. And nobody seems to get that.
And we don't own 10 blades.
So
We
we
can
don't want
actually
to
tell you
hire
what
them
they'll
to
cost if they're hiring.
And it's a little disturbing when Mr. Wozniak stands up here in Commissioner Court and makes an announcement that he has no idea how to build a road.
And you guys are paying him $75,000 a year.
He's
Highest
the
paid
highest paid
employee you
official in
got.
this county.
He's hired a new judge.
Thank you very much.
I think $73,000 a year. I think a person with an engineering degree might command that price, but not a
He's
man.
got a high school diploma. And he can't pave a road. Somebody needs to do some thinking up here.
I'm with you. I'm all in favor. I'm all in favor of taking a look at the management road and bridge in terms of its capabilities. And that's, the workshop idea is fine with me. If the judge wants to schedule one at some time, I'll be happy to be there because my butt's getting littler every day from being bid on. And I don't, that's not a bad thing. I mean, I'm happy to hear from people. Don't misunderstand me. It's not a negative. But, you know, it's, I guess in my lifetime in Karnes County, and it's been close to as long as Judge Long, as the roads have been a contentious issue. And now with the high traffic, it is really a contentious issue. So maybe we need to do a little more planning.
We haven't had the money in the past to do the roads. I mean, everybody knows that. I know that. You guys know that. Today, it's possible we have the money. Not at $400,000 a mile, we don't have the money. So we need to be careful what we do. Those $400,000 a mile roads will be torn up in, I give them a year or two, right? 3. I mean, Tech Dot roads are getting torn up. They fix one side and do the other, it's torn up.
Yeah.
So we're going to be redoing these roads that we're paying that kind of money for.
And we
in
haven't
a couple
properly
of years.
addressed the roads that don't have a high traffic, where you would chip seal them. And I promise you, if you check with Beeville, if you check with Goliad, if you check with over there at Hallettsville, these counties that have paved their roads, they don't have to run a road grader every time it rains. The maintenance goes away short of shredding every 2 or 3 times a year. The maintenance goes away short of maybe looking at addressing it every 6 or 7 years. But, you know, we keep just doing the same thing and we aren't addressing the roads with the light traffic, the roads with that are getting the high dollars or the high truck traffic area. So when we're going to look down the road, the truck traffic roads are going to be torn up again, and you will have never addressed the roads with the light traffic. We'll be right back where we were.
It goes against conventional wisdom of thinking
Business-minded.
to do a road that's not heavily traveled. But if you think about it a minute, if y'all go home and think about it, to get that road done and get it out of the way and out of the maintenance department, out of hiring a blade, sending down it, it's one less thing you have to worry about. Then you get to the manageable roads like that.
That's not a bad plan.
We just have to think about it.
We got $20 million in the budget this year for road and bridge. And we actually said when they did it, you better have a very close look at where it's going and what's being done with it.
The county attorney and I, and with any of the other commissioners, acquiescence that want to, are looking, and I don't know if micromanaging is the way, but we're looking at setting the threshold for any purchases at way, way, way lower than it is. And it is a real concern to me, and I know Herb has mentioned that we as commissioners and as a court have a individual fiduciary responsibility to the county to see that it's done right, and we are in essence in violation of the law because we're letting Road and Bridge buy whatever they want as they want to.
Have Herb submit to the court what he considers us to be in violation of the law.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, is there not a $50,000 limitation?
Ask him to proceed.
I will. He we're gonna put something together, and we'll bring it to you before we do, obviously.
It doesn't have to come to me.
Well-
I mean, y'all can present what you want to.
Yeah, well, I understand, but anyway, we're looking at trying to get our arms around some of what I consider excessive or unqualified and unaccountable expenses especially from Road and Bridge. They're the one with the big bucks.
I agree with that.
Okay. We'll work on it.
All right. Board comments?
We have a motion and a second.
We just have a motion.
We just have a
We're
motion.
discussing it.
Second.
There was not a second, was it?
No.
Before,
No.
okay. Is there any further discussion? Well, the motion, you want to read, and whoever's got it, exactly what the motion is, so we'll know what we're voting on.
Commissioner
And don't
Rosales.
tell me everybody knows, I don't believe you.
Commissioner Rosales made the motion to award the bid to Ray Ferris Inc. for the amount of $1,945,082.29 and have you execute the agreement.
Not 1,900,000, 1,700,000.
No, $1,945,000.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong one.
With the drainage.
Look at the
Okay.
8.5 by 11 sheet, Judge.
And that was for County Road 199. The drainage is 199 in addition to the
Sheet that's in your left
1.79.
hand.
199, 799.
Yeah, it's Judge, it's 1,745,000.
I'm not looking
addition
at
to the 199 for the drainage cost.
Right here.
Comes out to 1.9 million.
That is.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Y'all all smarter than I am.
That one right there.
The Ray Ferris bid on the
correct.
breakdown for the 199,
Yes.
is that correct?
Yes.
1,945,082.29.
Yes, sir. Yes, Judge.
Okay. And that's the motion to approve that bid?
Yes.
Is
And
there-
give you the authority to sign it.
Yeah. Is there any further discussion on it? If not, all in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. All voted for. Motion carried.
Thank you.
What is this?
Okay, this is the next item on the agenda is the award of a contract for County Road 211. And once again, the third page is the summary page. So if you go to the third page, it's 8.5 by 11 in size. And it has, once again, Ray Ferris Inc. There are 3 bidders. Ray Ferris was the low bidder, and the amount of the award on this one would be $3,562,469.74. This is 7 miles worth of road, and the cost per mile was a little bit less on this one. It's almost $95,000. $395,000. There was there's the first page shows 2 yellow boxes. Of course, the total amount was $2,882,663.74. The cost per mile was $394,685. The second page shows the drainage work on this project. There's a lot more structures on this project, a lot more expense. The total drainage cost on the second sheet is $679,806. So as you can see, the cost per mile is running just under $400,000 on County Road 211. And we have a lot more drainage work to be done on this road. This road is not in the TIP project. It's going to come out of the regular O&M budget for Road and Bridge. And Mike tells me he's got the money in his budget to pay for this project at that amount.
anybody know what the balance is left in Mr. Wozniak's account?
No, I don't off the top of my head.
You have it available if court
Yes.
wants to look at it,
Yes,
but not available here.
correct.
All right.
That might be something good for the next session we have.
Work session or otherwise.
Otherwise, yeah.
Okay, so any questions you may have on this one? It's a similar construction with the bridge and limestone.
And what's the difference in cost per mile?
This one's just a little bit cheaper, about $2,000 a mile cheaper. They're essentially the same price.
But we're getting a good bit more drainage work.
A lot more drainage work in this one on top of the roadway cost. That's right.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Court.
I move that we accept the bid from whichever one it is, Ray Ferris.
Ferris Incorporated.
Allow the judge to sign it and put it on the website.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Shelby. Any further discussion of the motion? All right, all in favor of the motion to select Ray Ferris Inc. as the bidder, successful bidder on, for a cost of $3,562,469.74, is that correct? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign, all voted for. Motion carried.
Thank you. 18.
We're on item 18. Discuss, approve, disapprove road test section also used in enzyme additive authored by David Underbrake.
7 million, over 7 million is
What?
The comment was made that the Commission's Court just spent $7 million on a $23 million budget. $20 million.
Okay, after the fact.
Okay, I've given you a map as identifying the road from Kennedy on the way to Rungate along along 72 is County Road 124. And from 72 up to that plant site there, you can see on the map, is about 2 miles worth of road. Mike and Homer and Willie and we all sat down in his office after our meeting last 2 weeks ago and started talking about possibilities for getting a couple of products on the same roads, or the traffic could hit both products and try and get an idea of how the two compare with the same traffic, which is important. This road consists of about a mile of limestone on the way in and then a second mile of the local pit run sandstone. So it's two different materials that we can stabilize with the two different products, and we'll have 4 different looks at how well the products work on typical paving materials that we're using here. This is mostly 18-wheeler traffic, so it's a as comparisons go, a medium-duty sort of travel way. So it's not extremely heavy traffic, but there's a lot of 18-wheel trucks. So this will be a good road, we think, for demonstration purposes. We just, first of all, like y'all's permission to allow us to do that. And then number 2 is, while we're talking about this, I'd like to introduce you a little bit more to the enzyme product. Gary Hill is here today, and he can tell you a little bit more about the enzyme product, but it mixes in just like cement or the emulsified asphalt would mix in. And I've been looking at it for a couple of months. I hadn't said anything to y'all about it, but it's probably worth, as long as we're doing a test section, go ahead and test this product as well. So if you're amenable to that, we'd like to have permission to do that as well. So if I can.
I don't understand fully how are you going to test it? Explain to me.
Okay, the idea would be that there's a mile of limestone and we break it into two pieces on the way in. So the first half mile would be done with either product. The other half of that mile would be done with the other product. So we get both products in a half mile section. The second mile is built with
No, wait a minute. You said you don't get both products in a half mile section, you get both products in a mile section.
First
one and a half
First half mile is one product, the second half mile is the other product. That's on limestone in both pieces. Then the second two pieces are going to be where the sandstone is placed. We'll do one product there and then follow up with the other. So you get 4 different test sections within a 2 mile length.
And what is that going to cost?
Well, I can tell you a little bit more about it, but it's about $34,000 a mile to install it. The enzyme solution. The emulsified asphalt was about $50,000 a mile to install.
Say those again, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying
The
attention.
enzyme product is about $34,000 a mile. The asphalt product is about $50,000 a mile.
That, the asphalt product is this stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Gary, do you want to come up and explain things to them right quick? If you wouldn't mind him taking a couple of minutes.
I've got some brochures here.
Can I help you?
Leave one down at that first chair.
Appreciate that.
This is MFD sheet on the and this is a laboratory test where they can broke some of these samples and all. That come off these tests were performed on soil out of Angelina County, come out of their county road. And there was 4 different road samples, so you got 4 different break tests there. And we've got 3 different soil samples here. 3 different types of soils. This soil right here come out of Oklahoma. This come from down around Catula, and materials out of East Texas.
Let me look at your
Any
Catula pile.
comparable of what's in Karnes County?
Well, they're all about, I mean,
Let's take
kind of a mixture of all. I haven't sampled anything from Karnes County, but it's probably going to be similar. You know, what
I'm not sure that I understand why looking at a sample of something that doesn't fit Karnes County is going to help us.
Well, I just haven't sampled the soil here. And it's something I can't do.
Okay, I just want to understand because
Well, I
if
brought
it
these
had
here.
sampled the soil here, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I brought these here to give you a representative of 3 different types.
And that's just 3 different soils, which doesn't make any difference where they are or whatever. They're not here.
No.
That's just the final outcome, what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, we'll find out
Solidified.
that soil.
The product has the ability to increase the soil strength by 160%, depending on the different type of soil. And I've been using it in the oil field for about a year. And the projects we done a year ago are still.
Where were you working a year ago? In the oil field. Where in the oil field?
No, I'm in East Texas, Oklahoma. Atascosa County, over there around Hines, over in that area.
Know what that is?
Yeah. And so we've got it kind of scattered around different areas.
What were they using in terms of base on? I'm assuming you're doing this on all field locations, right?
Yeah, we were comparing. We was comparing it to soil cement, and you know, as far as the performance, it's performing as well as soil cement.
Okay, and what? But again, the application that you were making to what, limestone coming from New Braunfels or Pit Run Caliche, or what were y'all putting it on?
We've used well, actually, we was doing a subgrade and then just covering it with rock.
Oh, okay.
And we covered it with the rock from New Braunfels. Also, some of that native rock from over there that's got the round, you know, river rock in it.
Okay.
Not very good.
Yeah. So basically, you're treating not the surface area, but the subsurface area.
Yes.
That's what I'm understanding.
And we have treated some of the locations. Everybody's got a different, you know,
Way of
idea.
doing it.
Right, but we have done some where we've just done the surface. I've done that in northern Oklahoma with a gypsum type rock, which is not very good. And so they treat the rock to create something, you know, that's usable.
It's pretty flaky, pretty soft.
Right, yeah. And it worked well with it. It held up all the way through completion procedures. So I mean,
well, I certainly have no issue with trying almost anything as long as I'm assuming this is similar to the other gentleman that would provide us a certain amount of product for a trial. Is that correct, Mr. Rosenberg?
I haven't gotten into that detail yet.
No, okay.
But at this point, the cost he's shared with me, so.
Okay.
It comes in 1 gallon can?
Comes in 5 gallon cans.
5 gallon cans? And so it's,
If you're looking for the ratio, it's 1 gallon will treat 120 cubic yards, and that's equivalent to a 60-pound per square yard soil cement treatment.
What thickness?
Well, the thickness doesn't really. You can do any depth, but
Get 100 something.
120 cubic yards, that can be.
That's not cubic yard.
Cubic yard.
That's square yard. Well, cubic yard makes a difference in how thick it is.
Well,
Maybe I don't
so
understand.
a gallon will do 360 square yard, 1 foot deep.
Okay.
All right.
And so that's 360 cubic yard.
No, that'd be 120 cubic yard in that area.
All right.
but so, okay, you spread out on your road. I mean, you spread the product on the road.
Yeah,
Do you need a stabilizer
Yep,
to mix it in?
if you're going 12 inches, you will, or you know, if you're mixing shallow enough where you can mix it with a blade or a disc, either one. So if you get a disc that'll cut 8 inches, you can disc it in, and then you have to process with your blade and your compactor. If you're going 12 inches, not many discs will get that deep, so you have to have a mixer.
That's what I was asking
So,
about the stabilizer.
Yeah.
You can put this into an injection system on a road mixer the same as the other product.
That's what I
Yeah,
figured.
and this product, just like the other one, will work whether it's soil or whether it's base material. It's just going to behave differently depending on what you put it in. And that's what we want to check, is how well it behaves.
I've been in the oil field since '78, so I built a lot of locations and roads and stuff, and I had never dealt with anything that hold up like this other than cement. And the difference being is there's no dust. You don't have an environmental issue, and this stuff has the ability to mend itself. So if something does happen, you know, if you dig up the road or whatever, if you put the material back, then you can add some water to it and it'll reset itself up.
Restabilize. That sounds good.
So it's kind of hard to believe until you use it.
There's not anywhere close where you use it around here.
No, sir, not around here.
What, 60 miles, 70 miles over to between Fowlerton and Charlotte. That's where you're talking about at Hines, didn't you say?
In that area, yes.
Yeah.
Now, we may have one of, there's a few of these companies that are still active that are in this area that are talking about using it. As soon as they start building, some more locations, most of them have plenty built ahead. So, this month, next month, probably some new construction, and I might get some of it done here. We've got a laboratories performing a study on the base material under
Sandstone.
under a TxDOT standard.
He has gone to Pettis and picked up some of their material, and he's applied this product on that material, which is what half this road is, and he's waiting results on that, but we don't have that right now.
Half this road is material
Is
from
material from
Pettis.
Pettis, right?
Which is what?
It's a sandstone.
Sandstone.
They're supposed to have those done this week, by the end of this week, the other laboratory, yeah.
And when are you gonna have the result? Is that what you're saying?
Hopefully by the end of this week, yes, sir. And when I do, I'll send them to Mr. David there.
Take heart, we've gotten rain and oil is up to almost 54 a barrel.
So we could get we want to try this stuff, we could get like a transport load?
No, you
Or is
don't.
it time consuming, we have to take
You don't need near that much. I mean, so, if you're thinking about, if I remember right, a 24-foot wide road, 1 mile takes 20 gallons.
20 gallons.
Yeah. Was that six? That was 6 inches.
It was, you told me you could fit it in the back of the pickup, but I don't remember the calculation.
Yeah, 6 inches. I think the depth that I figured for him was 6 inches deep and 24-foot wide. 20 gallons will do a mile. So you're looking at 4 buckets. Yeah. You don't have to deal with those trucks and stuff. That's another good thing.
And I think you answered this, but I probably wasn't listening. You would just put this in your water truck and apply it, and
Yes.
then you mix it in, is that right?
You just put it in the water truck and apply it, and then you mix it in. Then
And
you have to process it.
It readily goes into mix with the water, and the water truck don't have to agitate or anything like
No,
that?
not much. It
Slosh around a little bit?
It mixes real easily.
Okay.
It comes in a concentrated form. So,
And I know that the other folks, and I'm not trying to twist your arm too much, but they were willing to provide material for a trial. Are you willing to provide some material for a trial?
well, I'll have to visit with the other people involved.
Okay.
Do y'all, I mean, this sounds crazy, I guess, but I don't want to have, where we start creating an inventory of plastic buckets. I mean, do y'all take them back or whatever? I mean, it sounds crazy, I guess, but.
Just an empty bucket?
Yeah, those jugs, because after a while, you start doing, if this stuff really works and we decide to use it, next thing you know, we're gonna end up having bukus of buckets.
We got 20 buckets a mile.
Well, I know, but I still wanna know what we do with the buckets too.
You said it takes 20 gallons a mile, right?
Let me go a step further.
20 gallons a mile, I guess you sell it for 5 gallons a pail. So
5 gallons,
If we went to using it, I'm assuming it might be available in 300-gallon totes or something like that.
Oh, yeah, you can get it in a different container.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, just.
I'll take all the totes that you don't want.
I'll make a motion, we approve the
It's a little
test
larger
section
here, but
for
was
the
this the
inside.
$34,000 a mile product we're talking about?
I'll
So
make-
this is geared to
I'll
$34,000
make
a
a
mile
motion.
product, right?
Yes.
It's $34,000 a mile.
Installation cost is $34,000
Yeah.
for this product.
Oh,
Just a
not the
second,
cost of the
just a second, and we got a motion up here before the court that y'all were over talking, and you're not letting us do our business, which we need to do, but
Well, I apologize, I thought we were having, he was talking to y'all, and we were just trying to hear.
well, whatever, doesn't matter. But, is there a motion?
I got a motion, we approve the road test section regarding the enzyme additive as presented by Mr. Underbrink.
And that's on item 18.
18.
Second.
Second, there's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Yeah, I have a question right here. Reynolds, Commissioner Reynolds asked, this is for the 34,000 per mile? Right?
Install.
Enzyme additive. Correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner, but did you ask if they could do better than that per mile to add on theirs? Or?
No, I just asked if they would, the other folks that came the other day that brought us these were willing to provide us with the product to use it for. And I was asked, what my intention was to ask this gentleman is if his company would also provide us with enough for a test at no cost to the county.
Right, that's why we're on a motion right now, but the motion is to go ahead and approve to pay them the 34,000. So before I vote on it, I want to, you said you would have to go talk to your other members?
Correct.
So how are we applying this motion? Are we applying to go ahead and hire them for the 34 or wait to see if they can do testing on it? Or about the money off?
No, we did, they have to come back with us with we'll approve the test for the enzyme, but the financial part, they have to come back with us if there's any negotiations on that.
Well, yeah, it said that.
Yeah, I think.
Maybe I'm making it confusing, but
No, I think we need to clarify the motion. I believe you're 100% right that we need to approve the use of the product pending their willingness to provide it to us at no cost, or they've got to come back and tell us what it's going to cost. Is that about right, Shelby?
Yeah, I just want to know what it's going to cost. I want to approve the test, but to come back and tell us what it's going to cost, so we can at least have something to work with.
I think whether they donate or not, the installation cost is about $34,000 a mile. So that's good news for y'all. It's good to know that. You know, if he's willing to get a donation, it's going to reduce that cost for this test section. Then that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
I follow.
I need to talk to the other people involved in the business, but I mean, I feel like we'll probably.
How long will that take? Do y'all use cell phone?
For me to get outside and get on the phone.
Well, why don't you go do that?
Okay.
Why don't we pass on this and let the gentleman check and come back to us, and we can come back to it.
I just want to make sure everybody's in agreement. You know,
Sure. We want you to be healthy and happy with it.
Can I ask a question? My question is the road selection. I've been down that road, and to my knowledge, there's not one single resident that lives on that road. There's nothing more than a gathering facility at the end of it. It just is amazing to me that we're going to spend the money on, I mean, I understand doing the trials, and that's fine, but you're going to spend that money to suppress the dust for the trucks? Because 124 goes down, and there's a gathering facility at the end of it.
Yeah.
There's no residents on it whatsoever to suppress the dust for.
Can you?
Well, I agree with what she's saying. This is not about residents at all. It's about the product and how well it works.
The strength of the product.
It's a test section, and it's a great test section because it's got traffic on it. We want to see how the truck's going to react under traffic.
Chase me oil again.
On this one test section, that's a true statement. Yeah.
On every road.
Well, one of the reasons that we're spending money out here is because of oil field traffic, yes.
Yeah, but I don't think you can disregard the citizens.
I don't think we're disregarding anybody.
You kind of do, David, you kind of do. But I think the point is that people sitting out here that aren't represented are dealing with things and, you know.
Okay, I agree with what you're saying.
Right.
But I also want to add that the best way to find out how a product works is to put good heavy traffic on it and see what happens.
Yeah, but not every road that we have in Karnes
Well,
County.
it may be.
Because you stood out there when you first got here and told me every road got the same application, $400,000 a mile. And you were adamant about that, and I disagreed with you. And now you're kind of coming to fruition now.
There are levels of use in the county. And if you look at the chart that we put together, after you get past, I don't know, the first 10 roads or so, the level of use drops off significantly from there on. There are a lot of roads where a product like this or that asphalt, emulsified asphalt, will do great things for light duty service. I'm with you on that.
Right, well, we just need a plan so the people sitting out here can see, well, maybe in 10 years my road is going to get done. We're not just going to get run over again when the oil field truck.
I couldn't agree more. We need a big pot of money to go with it.
Well,
A big pot of money.
we got just 20 million. I mean,
Well, that doesn't go very far. Well, you're right. It doesn't go very far.
I can appreciate you put it on high traffic, if it holds up under high traffic, then you pretty well,
The assumption is it's gonna work great.
you can extrapolate the fact that it will do good under low traffic.
Right.
So I understand that part of it. Why you chose that road, I don't know, but then.
We chose that road because I asked the hands, the guys that are out there supervising, what road had different kinds of material. I was hoping to find a road that had two different kinds of material. We'd get the same traffic so that we could test it and get 4 different results and be able to compare those and see what works best for the county. And yeah, it's a road that has truck traffic on it.
While waiting for him to come back,
We're not making any progress this, and we're gonna stop doing what we're doing, so we can get on down the road. I didn't say you were gonna stop. That's what we were doing. Is there any motion before the?
It's a motion and a second, but I think it was kind of forestalled until the gentleman was going to find out.
We were waiting on the phone call.
Why don't we go on to 19 and get that out of the way? We can move on down a little further while we wait for
We can
him.
move back and forth in the agenda. So we're gonna move to item 19 at this point to authorize county judge to execute renewal application for property insurance with the Texas Association. Excuse me. The Texas Association of Counties renewal includes additions, deletions of property. Renewal date is July 1st, 2015. Application with additions, deletions must be submitted now. Authored by the Water Casper Karnes. Has she gone?
No, I'm over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to fill us in on this and tell us what we need to do?
When I submitted the agenda item to Erica, I also supplied the renewal application with the spreadsheet of additions that needed to be added to it. All I need is court's approval to do the application and authorize Judge Long to sign it. It is not necessarily accepting their insurance bid, it is just applying so we can get our insurance bid from them.
Is there a motion to adopt, to execute the renewal application, property insurance on the basis of what the law has told us?
I'll make that motion, or I'll second it. James can make it.
All right, motion by James, seconded by Shelby to execute the renewal application for property insurance in accordance with what Luana is presenting to us. And is there any further discussion before I call for a vote? All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. All voted for. Motion carried. Is that all we do?
That's it.
Okay, we're on item 20. He's not back yet. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I think you want to go back.
Yes, come up here. Did you complete your phone call?
Yeah,
You were going out to find out.
We'll donate the product, to be fair.
Okay, so we can test, what, 1 mile? Was that what we were talking
We're
about?
going to do 2 miles and a double redundancy using 2 products.
Okay, and y'all are going to donate?
He's going to do 1 mile.
1 mile worth of road.
Right.
Okay.
And he's gonna donate the material, I'm speaking truthfully, he's gonna donate the material for that 1 mile.
Okay.
Okay. And do we need a motion on?
We have one pending.
Is there one, and a motion and a second?
Right.
To do exactly what?
Why don't you read us a motion?
Do the road test of the enzyme additive on County Road 124.
That's it.
Okay.
County Road 124. Is that right?
Yes.
Again, I want to take a poke, excuse me. Okay, right here, you said 1 mile, right? You're going to donate the enzyme additive, but is that the installation of it too? No, just the product. And how much is the product?
I think the product was 22,000.
Right, 22,000.
And the installation was like 12.
Okay, so with this motion, you're gonna, well, we're gonna have to cover is the installation of it, but the product is gonna be donated?
The county's gonna pay for the installation costs.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure we have the motion straight and.
I don't have the exact number.
That's okay, but that's a roundabout?
Right.
Okay, that's only for 1 mile?
Yes.
Okay, so we wanna do,
Well, yeah, but it was all figured on 1 mile based on doing a half-mile section in between, about beside the other product.
right, one's on the limestone, one's on the sandstone.
Correct.
Okay, but you're only gonna donate for 1 mile, which would be the limestones first, off of the County Road 72?
He'll do a half mile of limestone and a half mile of sandstone.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we all straight?
Yes.
And there is a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. All voted for.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We, let me ask you a question. When are you likely to get this done? How soon can we come back and consider what's going on with the test?
He indicated within a couple of weeks or so, we just need to get it scheduled, and I'll let you know. I'll put that on.
Let me know and we'll set up a meeting so that we can take some kind of action on it one way or another. Let's get this put to rest. All right. We're on.
Thank you.
What?
Tell David, thank you. Apologize.
Are we on item 19? We got through tax collector report, item 20.
Tax collections for the month of March. The county M&O, month to date, $50,074.01. Year to date, $19,701,029.46. The collection rate of 96.91%, and that was the current collections. The delinquent collections, county M&O, for the month of March, $5,947.64. Year to date, $48,091.54 for a collection rate of 19.55%. The county INS, current month of March, $4,862.79. Year to date, $1,742,438.37 for a collection rate of 96.91%. Delinquent county INS for the month of March, $814.07. Year to date, $5,195.37 for a collection rate of 21.72%. Road and Bridge month to date, $7,510.26. Year to date, $2,917,079.92 for a collection rate of 96.91%. Delinquent Road and Bridge for March, $1,387.62. Year to date, $10,185.66 for a collection rate of 22.96%. The rural fire for March, month to date, $2,620.91. Year to date, $989,794.64 for a collection rate of 96.90. Delinquent rural fire for March, $680.91. Year to date, $5,080 for a collection rate of 23.2%.
Any comments, questions?
Judge, also in your packet, I put in the distribution of the CTERS funds.
Of what
The
funds?
CTERS, the Community Environmental, what is it? No, Energy, County Energy Transportation Reinvestment Zone. I always have a problem with that. That's the fund that was established for 1747 when at Luana. We had to establish the CTERS area in our county. I'll put a spreadsheet on there just showing you what has been collected for the through March. So far, see the total due to CTERS was $8,160,377.58. Through March, we've collected all, but we still owe the CTERS $59,424.84. Put a spreadsheet in there. I gave it to Erica last week. So maybe in April we'll get it finished. Can I have another one, Judge, if you need it?
I don't think he's got one.
I don't have one. If I do, I can't find it.
What I've got.
And across the top, it just shows you how much is due, how much has been allocated each month, collected and needs to be allocated. And Luana will transfer it from the proper funds. Correct? Yes.
From what's the proper fund that you're transferring
part of it goes-
from and to?
Part of it went to the general fund, and the general fund is allocated between general, road and bridge, emergency management, and the library. The general fund is allocated between those four funds. And so when we take it away to transfer it to road and bridge, we're going to take it away at those same allocations. Correct, Luana? Am I explaining that right?
And the same thing from INS and Road and Bridge
Yeah, INS
Special.
and road and bridge special.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all understand it.
I don't understand it. Yeah. Say again exactly what you're doing.
Okay. Up at the very top, the $8,160,000, that's what we owe the CTERS, calculated on certified values as of January 25th. See up at the very top left?
Yeah, what is you're saying, what is C, whatever?
The CTERS was created in 1747.
Yeah. This is the total we're going to owe them based on applying the tax rate to the captured value, which was $3 billion and something. I dropped in the exact numbers. And then that much was collected out of M&O, INS, and Road and Bridge.
I understand dividing it up.
Okay. And then this is how much we collected. We're going to give to the road and...
Well, that's the same figure up
Exactly.
here.
I'm just showing the allocation down there. And this is how much we owe them at the end of March.
You're calling this what?
County Energy Transportation Reinvestment Zone.
Okay, you're calling it CTERS?
CTERS, yes, sir.
Which I don't understand, but okay.
It's easier than saying County Energy Transportation.
But it's not more accurate, and
Okay.
you need some accuracy in whatever you're doing. It seems like to me. Perhaps
Okay, that's just what it was.
I shouldn't want to be accurate. Should be like everybody else.
But this is what we owe them through
So-
March. I mean, we'll owe them after March.
These two are supposed to be the same. This one and this one.
No, this is the total.
What is that?
That's
right there?
CTER, yes, I left off
Okay,
the
and
R.
what is that right there?
CTERs.
They're supposed to be the same.
They're supposed to be the same. I left
All
the R
right,
out.
let's get on down the road.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let y'all know that. I also put in your packet about the possibility of doing a license renewal.
Brenda, make sure I understand. The county collected the taxes to put it in the fund to match the state funds that came to this, all right?
We had to, Luana might can explain that a little better than I am, sorry. We had to designate a zone in order to, in a lot of counties, they just like use like one road. We designated the whole county to be in the transportation reinvestment zone.
But we'd only put half of theirs. DeWitt only used half of their county where their oil and gas production is. Every bit of new taxable property that went on the payrolls, according to the way you enter the grant process with SB 1747, any new taxable property that went onto the payrolls became into the reinvestment zone. So that money had to go into road and bridge if you put it, as in Commissioner's Court, whatever you put into the reinvestment zone. Our Commissioner's Court chose to put the whole county in.
Okay.
So every bit of new taxable property that went on the payrolls had to be put into road and bridge. But bear in mind, the $8.1 million is it part of the $20 million in Mr. Wozniak's budget. It is included.
It is included?
It is included.
Okay. I'm like Judge Long, I'm trying to get my head around all these figures, where they come from and where they're going.
You've got two issues that you're co-mingling. One is Senate Bill 1747 set up kind of a catch-22. If you want the money, first of all, you have to match. When you mentioned match.
That's what I
That's
thought.
got nothing to do with the C-TRIZ.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The C-TRIZ was the second condition of getting the money. You had to form one. Okay. We did choose to form one that encompassed the entire county. Anything that goes beyond the base year appraised value, any value increase, that money is directed directly to road and bridge, based on the way the C-TRIZ is set up.
Okay, so this is the monies that, am I understanding this right?
Value.
This is the money that came about because of that increase in value?
That's right. It's the amount over the base year appraised value at the tax rate that was adopted.
Okay.
And the C-TRIZ can go away anytime we want it to go away.
It's set to go 10 years with an allowance to go another 5. I don't know that question's ever been answered. So
I think at the
I think you
commissioner's
can do
discretion,
what
it
you
can
want
be
to do.
abolished.
Yeah.
Personally. But
I know that some counties that did not do the whole county, now there's some question as to tax equitably because you're only taking a certain part of
There's
it.
a lawsuit brought by LaSalle County about the equity issue.
And we chose to do the whole county.
Since you've done the whole county, there's not an equity issue in this county.
Thank you.
Who is next?
We're to the treasurer's report, Judge.
All right. Treasurer
Right here, that would be me.
report.
Yes, sir. You have December, January, and February's reports. I gave them to Erica. I'm not presenting March's report because as of yesterday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we still had some issues with some CDs that I brought in. The first part of March, I called tech support on it last week and sent them an email on it, telling them I had reports that were due. From Luana, I think was working on the investments yesterday. She realized there was still some issues that they hadn't corrected, despite what they had told me earlier in the day that they had corrected it. So I have not had time to go in and balance the statements to the report to make sure everything is done correctly. So you just have December, January, and February. And if you'll notice, I've changed the report slightly with the new system. You now have 2 of them, one that says county funds, the other one says juvenile funds. The way you can look at the money that actually the county has compared to what the juvenile funds. As Luana has stated in previous reports that she has given, Commissioner's Court do not have rulings over the juvenile funds, those are grant funds. But they are part of the monies that are in our depository.
Any questions?
So you do have a March tentative report, but that's not part of the ones that I want included until I can get the bank statements reconciled to make sure everything is hitting the cash account like it's supposed to be. And I think, Shelby, you have that in your hand. Yes, that one.
And that's what?
The March report.
So there is one, but it's not accurate, is what you're saying.
I'm not going to say it's accurate with all the issues
I
we've
didn't
had.
say accurate, I said it's not accurate, is what you're saying.
I'm not sure if it's accurate or not. Until I can reconcile the bank statements with it, make sure everything is done correctly in the software program, I can't do that.
You don't know whether it's accurate or not.
Not sure if it's accurate or not.
So if I'm reading this correctly, the preliminary, till we determine the actual balance from ending March 31st, 2015 is all the funds totaled $48,618,622.83.
Right. The only issue that we had as of yesterday was with the CDs and making sure that everything was processed correctly.
The only issue who had yesterday,
Tyler Technology did.
not we here.
No.
You're not saying that. I don't know who you're talking about.
The county.
You had an issue?
The report had an issue, yes, on how it was.
And that's your report?
Correct.
Okay. Any comments, board?
Still trying to figure out.
We can get it figured.
We both know, huh?
So I have the report here that everyone needs to sign. That goes to Carol's Office of Filing, so that you can keep your own report.
And that report is for what period of time?
They're individual. They're
Months?
Yes, sir. December, January, and February. This one's December's. The signed copies will go to Carol. There's a top page if you need to sign, and the second page is.
I'm not signing. Okay.
And why not?
I choose not to.
Okay.
I'm not convinced that it's accurate.
Well, they're December, January, and February is what
I understand what you're presenting.
Okay, do you and I need to have a meeting so I can show them to you? I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
I'm not gonna start having meetings when we're here. This should have been done some other time or before now.
Well, I gave you the reports on Friday, so if you had any questions.
I was in the hospital in San Antonio Friday.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not know that. So if you would like to put these back on the agenda for the end of the month, that's fine.
Well, they need to be on the agenda for a time when the court can actually look at them and understand them and
Well, again, I gave them on Friday to the ones that were.
which isn't early enough if you want to argue about that part of it.
Well, I think we're required to have them on Friday to your office.
Well, okay, I'm not sure who requires
I
that.
think you did.
That's not.
Can we go ahead and put that on the agenda in the month then?
Yeah.
I'd like to make that.
And I'll have March's done by then too, yes.
I'm going to step off in the quagmire, but do these correspond well with the auditor's figures?
Well, I have not sat down and to discuss them now.
Okay.
But they would be generated from the same financial system.
So, in essence, they should look the same.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
But we don't know if they do or don't.
Well, if she prints them from the same system I'm going to print them from, they're going to be the same numbers. I can't confirm reconciled balances because I have not seen any bank reconciliations. But if I was to print the exact same report, it would be the exact same.
I understand. Any other comments or questions?
Just have a couple of things. Tomorrow is our luncheon for our employee appreciation.
That's not on the agenda.
It's part of my treasurer's report.
Don't want to listen to that part of it. Thank you.
Okay.
We're down to 22.
Yep.
Item 22, pay on the bills, auditor.
You will turn to page 10 of the report on the account summary. I'll go through and give you some brief highlights. 6 items from the bottom is an expenditure for $4,200. That's for juvenile detention. On the next page, page 11, the 5th item is an expenditure for $55,257.70. That's for the communications tower at the jail. $11,121 is towards the courthouse restoration. And the jail facility expenditures this cycle is $5,016. You go to page 12. Under road materials, the total expenditure is $392,522.87. Included in that amount are the equipping of the new road and bridge pickups, which is grill guards, headache racks, etc., for a total of $6,460. There's also an expenditure for heavy equipment repairs. The total is $10,645.10. Of that amount, there are repairs to a 1998 Caterpillar in the amount of $8,572.61. The fourth item from the bottom is our expenditures towards SB 1747, $33,349.70. The total for this cycle, $642,334.76.
Always a question. Starting on the front page, there's looks like attorney's fees on JP Collections. And I'm assuming these are the past dues that they're contracted.
Purdue, Brandon, Filler, they all collect our delinquents not only for property taxes but for court costs, fines, and fees for the JPs.
What percentage do they get? Do you know offhand?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. I was just curious. Going a little further down into the non-departmental and Elsa Schrader attorney services, is that for child juvenile?
No, she applied for a grant for the county attorney's office for the victim services coordinator.
Okay.
And that was her fee for doing the grant application.
Who's the victim services coordinator?
Well, at the point in time, Alyssa Schrader was serving as it. I believe she has completed her term and that now Herb is looking for a new one.
I also noticed that, and I guess there's nothing bad about this, but one of the JPs submitted all of their mileage in one lump instead of submitting them monthly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hang on. Let's see. Okay, over on the capital outlay where we have Chapman Law Firm, attorney services, jail facility, and I'm thinking that those are going to be reimbursed by the contractor, if I remember from the conversations we've had here.
Should be, yes, sir.
Okay. And I realize we didn't have the jail on the agenda today, but does anybody know if we're anywhere nearly close to getting into it at the end of the month?
The last estimate I heard was that Hale Mills predicts April 30th, but the architect is guessing it'll be more like May 30th.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. The mobile radios that are over a couple of $6,330, are those for road and bridge, or who did they go to?
EMS.
EMS, okay. Okay, let's see what else we got here. A PhD, $150, T-close evaluation, Luther. We have somebody who needed a psych evaluation or what? What's the, we're on page?
All required from T-code. From now, every employee, dispatcher, jailer, peace officer is required to be seen by psychiatrist, get a psychological done before they get started.
You mean we can't hire any crazies anymore?
I'm sorry?
We can't hire any crazies anymore?
No, they're grandfathered in.
They'll elect them.
Also, if you look at the bills, we also have for all my employees also, before they get started, everyone goes through a drug screening and physical through our local clinic here in Karnes.
I think that's a great idea. I appreciate it. I was just checking. what I don't understand, I ask about. Purchase firearms, the sheriff's department. You want to comment what we bought?
Yes, we budgeted last year for, to buy some additional rifles, and handguns for the additional 15 deputies that the county hired. And, we're just buying them as they come on sale. So these are the final edition.
Okay.
For those.
I'm sorry for taking so long, but I'm always interested in the things that look, well, we're back to the road and bridge people, and I noticed that our road and bridge administrator is buying tires from a local supplier, and I certainly appreciate doing business locally. However, I also had gotten, and I'm sure other commissioners did, something from one of the suppliers that does go through buy board, and I would suspect that they are substantially cheaper. So when we get around to their budgeting, I think they need to estimate their tire utilization or their utilizations, and so we can look at not having to knee jerk when they need 2 tires or something. But anyway, other than the no bid stuff. Okay, over on page 9, DNA Service Center, looks like we had some repair work done. Is that someone local? Do you know who that is?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay.
Who is it?
McKee, David McKee, I believe.
Okay.
He has his facility on Business 72. Used to be,
Mr. Johnson's used to be the Coca-Cola plant?
yes,
Okay. I didn't know who ran it anymore. Bobby Johnson used to run it.
right.
Okay. I give up.
The one other question, why are we showing contract road work with road supply?
Where are you talking about?
Road materials, on your 680-3551, says road materials, 392,000, but actually, contract for that is 195,000. But I would think it'd be under a different line item.
The way the budget was done, it was all in one lump sum this year.
Okay. I'm just saying this gives it a different look, you know what I'm saying? Thank you.
I move we pay the bills.
I'll second it. Motion and second, to pay the bills. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of paying the bills, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. All voted for. Looks like the bills get paid. Are we through?
You got to sign.
Well, I'm just saying, I've already written on it in another place. You got to see. You better look at what I wrote on it. I accidentally put it on down the way.
You sign on the last page, sir.
Whether I want to or not.
Please, would you?
That's where I wrote it.
Okay.
No, I wrote it on the next to the last page. What's the date today? 14th. Well, you know this. Oh, I have to. Yes, I'm just. No. Yeah.
There you go, ma'am.
Where are we now? Adam, 23?
Yes, sir.
County clerk?
Yes, sir. For the month of March, we collected for the total $73,700. I have Denise's report also. She didn't come back. Her total collection for the month of March was $19,162.53. And I have the county attorney's. let's see, for the month of March, her restitution was $3,438.13, and court costs and fines, she collected $1,680. Her year-to-date collection, well, from January to the end of March, total was $7,283.13.
Did you have a copy of your stuff?
Of my report? No, but I did.
That's all you have.
I have special projects also report here. I don't know if y'all got it or not. For determination development permits for the month of March, she collected a total of $1,950. I guess the county keeps $950 of that. $1,000 goes to the engineer fee. That's all I have.
Did anybody have the JPs or juvenile department or?
I've got the JPs, I have all the JPs. JP2 bring anything? JP1 for the month of March, cases filed 291, retained by the county $62,780.64, remitted to the state $26,216.26. Total jail time and community services $1,427.40 for a total of $88,996.90. That's submitted by Captain Stewart. JP3, number of cases filed is 168. Total retained by the county $40,966.36. Total remitted to the state $12,649.18. Total revenue collected $53,615.54. Submitted by Daisy Villanueva. Judge Saltillo, cases filed was community cases filed was 38, and kept by the county is $9,889.88. Submitted, remitted to the state $3,607.15. Total for $13,497.03. And JP2's report is not available at this time.
Where are we down to now?
Sheriff's Department.
Sheriff's Department. Sheriff.
Good morning again. How are y'all this morning? Our Karnes County Sheriff's Office. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Egan.
Yes, sir.
Our reports for the month that we had as far as the March of this year, our assaults, we had 24 calls. Domestic, we had 11. Our disturbance / fights, we had 8. Criminal mischief, we had 12. Harassments, 13. EMS, we had 127 calls. 10 fire calls, 16 escorts, 47 loose livestock, 61 prisoner transports, 142 requests to speak to officers, 63 road hazards, suspicious activity 16, suspicious subjects / vehicles 37, theft 14, burglaries 8, warrant service 19, welfare checks 14, civil standbys 9, miscellaneous calls 273, reckless drivers 25, traffic stops 722, citations 280, warnings 260, arrests were 86, and accidents were 141. Today our jail count is we're at 41, and if you look on the second page, that's everyday intake.
Do you have anything yet for the code enforcement guy? We need to sit down and have a discuss how ordinances, or what are we gonna do, or is he actually doing anything yet, or?
Yes, he has.
Do you have a report on his?
He just started this month, but if we're gonna have any ordinance in place, y'all are the ones that have to.
Well, you know, the health and safety code covers a lot of that stuff right now.
What we're doing, Commissioner, right now is he's dividing his time between all 4 precincts. He's going around and orientating the people that are in violation and calling out the violations. So once we go through the initial phase of notifying some of these people, we'll report back to you guys. Actually give you a written report. He's checking the water lines on the roads. We're going to meet with the permit ladies, and so we're going around to look and see where the problem areas are and go from there. So that's how we've set it up.
Because I noticed some of these companies that have dumpsters that are in neighborhoods now, and I'm talking about the one by the bowling alley. You only can put so much in the trash can.
That's right.
And
And the lids aren't on top of them, and, I'm just wondering, I was asking Shelby yesterday, like, are we seeing any progress with the revenue? Are we generating any revenue for the costs that we're paying for salary? I just would like to know if y'all would start that, to include that in the report so that we can kind of.
We are, because Shelby brought that to our attention. He did bring it to our attention for us to report them to Commissioner's Court like we're doing now.
A lot of it, Cheryl, we're going to have to figure out a proper law to follow on some of those people because there's not an ordinance in the county right now. So we're going to work with the court to figure that out, to figure if there's something currently in the health and safety code or the penal code where we can follow on these people. The main thing what we want to do is establish for the whichever law it falls under, give them a warning, give them a chance to clean it up. We want compliance. If they don't, we're going to write them a ticket. So we have red stickers that if you see a red sticker on one of these dumpsters, that's what he's doing. He's going around here notifying the owner you're in violation, putting a red sticker on there, give them a warning. After that, they're going to write them a ticket. And that's how the program's going to work.
I hope that would be the case. I don't, see, how should I say this? I don't think you should equate your justice and enforcement with revenue. When you start looking for it to be a revenue stream, you probably are off the reservation. So anyway, we want.
I might disagree just a little bit with that because sometimes if you don't make somebody, they'll just keep. How long are you going to go with this?
Well, I understand. I mean, that's to some
violators all the time that you're going to have
to some degree. That's going to be the discretion of the officer in charge as to if they're making progress or not. And I understand that. But like I said, I heard Gilbert Garza get fussed at one time years ago, and because he was not bringing enough money in his JP court, and he says you're confusing justice and revenue. And so I thought that was a pretty good statement. But anyway, okay.
It's a fine line between justifying the cost of the program versus compliance. But I think overall we want our county to be clean. We want our county to be following the rules, and we want them to be in compliance.
Right.
And I think if you can sell a program a whole lot better that way by getting people to comply with the law, and then if you don't, get their attention by giving them a ticket.
I certainly agree, and like I say, I just don't want to get to a point where we're equating one, or I mean not equating one, but predicating one on a revenue stream. But I appreciate what y'all are doing. I'm not being highly critical, please understand.
There was a couple other issues I just want to bring. The sheriff wanted to tell y'all about some county roads that are flooded. I don't know if y'all know in your precincts. Right now, we've got multiple calls today. I think he's going to read the numbers for you.
We have County Road 253 to 254. County Road 302, both ends.
Where are the roads?
Okay. County Road 302 is in the Helena area. So that is. And then this is off of FM 99 west of Karnes City. You're going to have County Roads 189 to 184, which that seems to be a problem all the time.
It's a problem all the time.
And then also in that same area, we have County Road 184.
What's
by the Wally Brook?
What's the problem on the one that has a problem all the time? I mean, what is the problem?
There's just standing water that's always standing in certain areas and it stands there for a long time.
Not
It's
passable.
not, yeah, it's not passable.
And there's not a way to drain it or anything? Oh,
No, it's in the low place. It's all the tanks. It's in this little slough. It's a cut across road, what it is. And those 18-wheelers keep on going through there and just tearing up the road. And it pushes out the road to the side, and before you know it, the road is, ditches are deeper than the road, or higher than the road.
okay.
We've tried to block that road off prior to rain, just putting barricades up there, but they go around them or knock them down.
Also, County Road 188 in the same area off West End 99.
We posted this on the website and also gave it to Joe Baker so the public will be informed, but those roads are not passable right now. To see how it's gonna work out.
Is that all?
That's it, yes, sir.
All right, thank
We
you.
just wanted to report also, Judge, that the windows are at the new jail and also the tiles, so they're making progress of putting all the windows in the building this week, and so you're going to see some significant changes there.
Thank you.
So,
When's it gonna be finished?
I hope yesterday, because we're ready to move, so.
Mañana.
Yeah.
October.
Is that everything?
Yes, sir.
Y'all
Thank
better
you.
quit
We
while
won't
you're
comment,
ahead.
Judge.
I'd quit while I was ahead if I were y'all. I don't even know where we are.
Road and Bridge.
EMS has got the report. They had a total of 128 requests, 152 patient contacts. They transported 84. Had 67 refusals, 7 cancel calls, multiple patient calls, 6 air evacuations, 2 out of county transports were 10. And they had a fire and hazmat call. It was 84 trauma patients, 72 medical patients. Year to date, from 1/1/15 to 3/31/2015, 364 dispatch requests. Collections. This is January 1 through March 31st. Total of $78,523.92.
Is that all?
That's all.
All right. Which one are we doing?
And they tore down the old building yesterday.
What old bill?
The old EMS building, just started construction.
Okay.
Road and Bridge.
And he's not here.
He has a packet for us, Judge.
Okay.
It's in a vanilla envelope like that somewhere. I don't know.
If anybody wants to get it, I don't have one, but it's like, I got the little from Mr. Rosales Stevens.
And there are some figures in there. It was brought up a while ago what they had spent, and I'm not.
Which one? I don't know anything about it.
Right. The first two top pages, Shelby. Looks like the first and second quarter budget report.
Well, one of y'all know what it is, go ahead.
Okay, the first quarter budget report, he has reported, if I read this correctly, spending $2.787356, $2,787,356 and change. The second quarter, and it's all broken down. If anybody wants a copy, I'm sure we can get you a copy. The second quarter, his report shows us expenditures of $3,609,487. So I'm assuming for the first two quarters we have spent about $6.4 million, if my quick math is right.
But notice on there, that does not include any salaries and fringe.
That does not include any salaries and fringe. Do you have any idea what that is, Luana?
No, I don't. It
Okay.
runs about $2.5 million a year, I think.
the
salaries and fringe.
So if we added half of that 125 million to it, we'd be at 7.5 million más o menos. About what was budgeted this year? Do you have any idea, Shelby?
22 million, I believe.
I think he had 19 million exclusive of salaries. I can't remember exactly, but it was about 20 million.
Well, like I said,
Tell him we want to know at the next court meeting.
I would like to have these quarterly reports posted on the website again.
I think that would be good. It would give the people who are concerned, and there are many more concerned that show up at court, something to look at.
Yeah. Any other comments or questions or from the court? Who's next?
Thank you.
Auditor.
Page 2, items of interest, sales tax receipted March 2015, $902,209.09. Sales tax for the same period last year, $713,885.01. That's approximately a 26.38% increase of $188,324.08. So even though they say that oil activities are declining, it doesn't look as if they are from our retail standpoint. Sales tax collected the first quarter of 2015, which would be October, November, and December, $2,620,331.67. Sales tax collected for the second quarter of fiscal year 2015, which would be January, February, and March, $2,709,976.03. The total collected to date for this fiscal year, $5,330,307.70. The amount we budgeted for this fiscal year was $7 million, so we've collected approximately 76.15% of our budgeted estimate for the fiscal year. The county outside investments, I've listed them by the investment company. DWS Scudder, $15,668,084.63. Did I say 15,000? I meant 15,668,084.63. Texas Class, $891,350.09. FICA or Stonecastle, $35,784,304.68. for a total invested outside of our county depository, $52,343,739.40. Beneath that, I show you the investments by fund, which again total the $52,343,739.40. The reimbursements for legal fees on the tax abatement applied by Energy Transfer still remains outstanding, $5,606.24, and the reimbursement from the Texas Historical Commission submitted March 31st, 2014, $94,539.53 also remains outstanding, and that's on the west wall restoration. Also included are the monthly statements from the outside investments, and then the debt requirement statement. We paid 2 payments during the month of February and 1 during the month of March, and we just paid one that was due Tuesday, to the Fall City National Bank. I do know, and I want to ask David this, we haven't done any invoice copying or anything for any additional 1747 requests?
It's working.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to bring that with us today, and we didn't get it complete.
This was explained to me recently, and I think it to be accurate, but let me ask you. I understand that county funds have to be deposited in a secure situation. And if I understood right, because I looked at these, and these outside funds looked like money market funds to me, but I understand the explanation I received was, and I just want to verify this, that it was correct, was that these funds are given to, if you'd call them bundlers, and they deposit them in any number of other banks in order to stay under that 250,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm the investment officer, but yes.
Yeah.
And they give us a list of all those banks every month and exactly how much is in those, and we need to include those also. It's like a 5 or 6 page report.
Okay. Well, what I noticed was the very, very small amount of interest, and I'm saying if these are investment funds, we're kind of getting short end of the stick. But if they're depository funds, given what banks are paying these days, I understand why. Okay.
Am I correct, that you told me that we do not have a bank deposit contract with anybody?
Well, we obviously apparently do, because there was one filed back from August of last year to August of this year, when I had questioned the CD percentage rate back this point, the bank, oh, but you do have a contract with them. Send that to me, please. And I showed go along also. So that will renew in August of this year.
Well, I just have a question, and I really don't know the answer, and just a concern. Should we have a policy set where we have, say, maybe the county will always say we'll have a minimum of 9 months or 6 months or whatever thing, reserves fund to operate the county based on the monthly expenses which you would need in case something would ever happen, where we would really be in a financial bind, till we could.
We don't have a written policy. Standard procedures is 3 to 6 months of reserves on hand at any time. So, and the logic behind the 3 months is because it's 3 months after your fiscal year before you really start receiving tax revenues. But we have a very healthy fund balance. I believe last year at the close of our audit, it was over 7 months worth.
And the reason I was asking, and David, triggered something in my mind that maybe we could take some of these funds and put them out for a longer, more return capable type of
invest them for longer periods to get a higher return.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's a longer or a higher rate of return for a longer period of investment through the.
And I'm just asking,
What some of them do, and I can have, back at our traders conference next week, and we'll talk about it. I can have some investors come in to give you like a ladder. You do it for like 2 years, but in 6 months you bring part of it in, and if it's a good rate to reinvest it, and then 12 months, that kind of thing. My biggest issue has always been the county's long-term plan is how long can I put some of that money out? If you're going to need it because you're going to be doing a lot of roads in a short amount of time, I can't be putting it out and tying it up for 2 years, because then we lose. You buy it cheaper. Instead of paying $1 for it, you pay maybe 90 cents for it, but you have to keep it out for 2 years to at least get that $1 back. So if you turn it in too soon, then you would lose that 10 cents. So it's some of it's have to be the commissioners have to make some long-term plans. Yeah, and we would have to come back to commissioners. I would have to come back to commissioners court to get permission to go out longer than the 6 months. I think that we have to set for now.
And this procedure or program you're talking about would still keep all of the funds insured and within statute,
yes.
right?
With the Public Funds Investment Act, we can only use brokers that do use money, government-backed securities.
Okay,
So we
thank
just
you.
can't go out and buy Apple stock or whatever. We have to have government-backed securities. I know my brother bought Apple stock a long time ago, and he's rich.
I thought cattle would be pretty good right now. Okay.
Any other comments from you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We missed Karen a minute ago. I don't know if she has anything for us, but.
In the elections department, we're basically right now just preparing again, or still, for the May elections. So as I reported last month, we have several contracts in place. We're working on getting equipment tested and all of it, getting it all programmed and getting people in place for those to take care of those elections. But another thing that's going on that you guys should know about is we may end up having to have another election in September. And it'll be, of course, something that'll be at the county expense, but it depends on the outcome of it's a Senate Bill 1. There was a Senate joint resolution, but it is in reference to raising the homestead exemption for school tax for the school taxes. So anyway, and it would be an election so that the people could vote on that. We're all still trying to figure out why they would do it in September when normally all that's figured out by August anyway, and so why couldn't we just wait till November? But I don't know. We haven't gotten the answers about that, but I just wanted you guys to know that's on the horizon. So I may end up being over in my budget because I did not anticipate an election in September.
Well, the purpose in that would be the tax rates have to be set by the end of September, 1st of October, and so...
The schools are August.
I thought it was August. The schools, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But I was going to say their budgetary process begins then, so if they had to make any adjustments, I'm guessing that it has some play in that.
Maybe so, yeah. But I mean, that we knew they needed to be set by the end of August, and that's why we were trying to figure all that out. But anyway.
What's
so
the proposed increase?
Do what?
What is the proposed exemption?
25% instead of 15. And I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jim?
I don't have nothing on, I was when we have our workshop, I think we need to discuss what we're gonna do about HR.
Okay.
Prior to the budget year, we can do anything at all.
He's not here for the NX status report. Commissioner status report is the precinct 2?
Yes.
So he would report on the waste and recycling center.
No change.
Okay, James.
David, we don't have anything yet on that.
I've got something ready if you're ready to consider it.
Do you want to put it on an agenda item like we had spoken about?
We can do that.
Okay.
So we'll bring it in at the
Okay,
next meeting.
all right. Status report on permits, David.
I'm it here, hold on. Got this wonderful printed report that the ladies made up.
Thank you.
Okay, for the month, the permitting department collected a total of $79,500. It's broken up because many of these companies put money in their escrow account so they don't have to write a check individually. $65,500 came out of the escrow account, and we got cash receipts for $14,000 to make the $79,500. Just a comment, it appears that activity is beginning to creep upward just a little bit. It's not rampant, but it went down, and now we're beginning to see more permits coming through and processing. Just to comment for the court, we had a little bit of a train wreck in that we issued permits for Pioneer and one of their vendors for Farm Road, I call it Wofford Crossing Road 326, and I was unaware that they were going to do bridge work on it, and the bridge work is scheduled. And the rain has been a blessing because I think they're still fracking, but we can't do any bridge work right now. We are taking, and this was as per David's suggestion, presently we have not been notifying Road and Bridge of any permits being issued. But starting with the very next round that we send out, before I sign them and they're actually given to the companies, we're going to fax
a copy of the request to Road and Bridge. So if they have any plans for a particular road that would preclude this being used for crossings or pipelines or whatever it is, they can have an opportunity to object. It got a little bit sticky for a while, but like I say, I think the weather is taking care of it for us, and we're trying to address the situation in a manner, and that was Mr. Underbrink's suggestion. I think it's a good one, so we're putting that into place. But that's about it.
Great. Anything else coming before the court?
The constable from Constable 1, Mr. Finner, submitted a report this month. I think all the constables need to submit a monthly report so we can kind of track what they're doing. Normally you don't hear from them at all until it's budget time. But this time I'll say Dennis, he gave a report for March, so it's in your packet. So I think we ought to instruct all the.
That has been requested of them.
Okay, well, we need to reemphasize.
By you?
Yes, sir.
When?
Last month, end of February, first part of March.
Well, I think we ought to get one every month.
I think so too.
Why don't you prepare one over my signature asking for one as of the first of the end of each month or the first of each month, however you want to do it. And I'm not sure what we'll do if they don't do it, but there's a way to get at it.
Yes, there is.
And I'll figure it out if I have to. It'd be simpler if they would just do it.
Yes, sir.
See what you can do. If you need my help, we'll holler at me.
Okay.
Our county extension.
Yes.
Our county extension agent always submits his travel schedule to justify his mileage expenditures, and I think that's in our package also. He seldom comes to present it, but it is in there, so if anybody's interested or concerned about what he does or how he spends, it's available to the commissioners and to the court. So anyway.
Anything else from anybody on the court?
Let's go home.
Motion to adjourn.
Here.
I'll second this.
Discussion.
I'll get up and go.
Everybody leave that wants to vote for.